The NWF Champion Ace.
Pitts has called the match. For some strange reason, he's giving the victory to Kid Kelsey.
Mr. X declared the new champion.
The new champion, Mr. X.
He's won the title match. Get it back, bring them down. Crusher Crossen, your new champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is I. You're experiencing the greatness of Dixie Dave, here for your viewing pleasure, and I guess you'll have to put up with this guy too.
And I apologize. I mean, if your mirrors are shattering in the background or cameras or whatever, because yeah, it is him, Dixie Doorknob himself, Dixie Dave, and the 5-time NWF World Champion, Crusher Crossen.
Yes,
boy, did you?
Loser is here.
But Dave, Dave, did you see the promo? I mean, I just love that promo.
Yes, it's a very good promo. The NWF will finally have a worthy champion.
For the first time in, what, 4 decades? That belt's going to be fought for again?
We'll have a worthy champion.
4 decades it's been. Now, you don't count, Dave, that goes in this year and out the other year when you talk like that, because you never held the belt. You're not even in our league. You're not in the same league.
Well,
so there's that.
It's hard to get a world title shot when the champion is also the promoter and is burying you.
Yeah, burying him. I'll tell you something though. It is really good. I mean, Dave can sit here and talk all the heel he wants, but I'm telling you right now, I am super excited about this belt coming back in the fold again and letting them fight for it again. And I get to guest ref. I get to guest ref the damn thing. That's what's also cool, I got to say.
Yes, you get to go over to Ireland, you get to ref this, but, you have to be impartial. I know you and Canary have your issues.
We do. I'm not going to lie.
But you have to put those aside when you're a referee. You can't be the biased person you always are.
Well, I know you watched the show, Dave, because you wanted to see the announcement. Did you notice Canary was just absolutely speechless when he found out?
Oh, yeah.
And you know why he's speechless, though, Dave? Because he just realized for 3 months he's been calling me every name in the book like you try to do. And now it might matter, because now he may not get the damn belt. Maybe. You never know. I mean, it just depends if he's good enough to beat Ben. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more. We'll talk more about that, Dave. But I know we got somebody waiting. We have a special guest today.
Yes, we do. We have a very special guest. We have a Hall of Famer that I brought into the fold.
That looked up to Crusher Crossen immensely. And yes, we do. And his name is Jamie McParland. The Irish Terror was the original gimmick on the Ricky Vaughn and the Vader 3, amongst other characters he had. But I'm referring to him as the Irish Terror today just because with our Ireland connection right now, that's probably the more popular name for him. So let's bring him in here. and get our special guest in here. He's always, he's been with us before and different, as well as special guest hosting and stuff, but he's in here.
One of the highest rated shows was Dixie Dave and the Irish Terror together.
But Jamie was going to be just me and Jamie because Dave was going to take today off, but then he decided to come in because he just couldn't handle the connection of Crusher Crossen and the Irish Terror together again. He just couldn't handle it.
Well, see, here's the truth. I decided I would not put these guys through the torture having to listen to just you and be able to enjoy Jamie. I thought I'd bring them a little more pleasure. I decided not to go see Disturbed tonight. And I'm gracing everybody with my presence.
You're disturbing, all right. Let's get our guest in here. Here he is, folks, from the West Coast right now. Jamie McParland, the Irish Terror.
Hey,
welcome
everybody.
in.
Thanks for having me again.
Great to see you again, Jamie. I love it when you're on
being
here.
on the show. Yeah, I love chatting with you guys and watching the old footage and interacting with the people that come on the chat. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's on the show today.
And I
always enjoy having you in here, Jamie. My headaches lessen when you're here.
And he's got a large head that has an aching problem. That's for sure.
I try to mediate between you guys.
Every time I hear that chirping from, what is it? That canary says, Schmucker Crossen. If I may steal your line, Ricky.
Well, speaking of Ricky, Jamie, I'm sure you heard the news. I want to get your opinion on all this too. But, the Canary Kid, the thing is, I'll tell you something. If he wasn't so good and talented, the kid likes to run his mouth, right, with me and says a lot of things that normally people wouldn't get away with. But if he wasn't as good as he was in the ring, we'd string him up like Mussolini, right? He's a lovable tyrant, and so I do enjoy Canary Kid and the banter we have back and forth over at NWF Forward. By the way, if you guys never see NWF Forward, you got to check it out. That's our other sister show. We don't look back at the NWF. We kind of look ahead at all the new people getting started in wrestling, and Forward's open to anybody in the business that's getting started in wrestling, not even whether you're a kid or an adult or whatever. If you're getting started, that's what Forward's all about. So, but yeah, so what did you think, Jamie, when you heard the news that the NWF belt was going to get fought for again? You were a part of the league.
Yeah, I was excited. It's, I think the NWF belt was the original kind of junior wrestling belt, and for it to come back to life makes sense because it's the original. And I love that, it's now actually worldwide. So very proud to have been a part of its history, although I never held it. And I'm really excited to see it moving forward. So
you remember it though, right? You remember that blue belt?
I absolutely remember that belt. Yeah.
It's a cool looking belt, wasn't it, for the time?
It was. I was amazed that you built that.
Well, Steve Engstrom.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But, as much, I know we have issues with Steve, but he was very crafty, and it was him that could make belts look nice like this. And that's how I learned how to make belts. And then you learned from me. And so,
he's a part of our history, and, good, bad, or whatever. It's,
the good, the bad, the ugly with some of these people.
Exactly, so that's all right.
But Jamie, you got reason because you had some wrestling boots that got missing. So
I did. Yeah, it's in the past, and
those are all sentimental things, though.
Yeah, and I'm pretty good about saving stuff. Which had I not loaned them to him, I probably would still have I still have my karate uniform and stuff. But it's fine.
I just wanted to bring this up on the screen just so everybody could see this is what we were talking about. And but today's show, you guys, is a fun one. It's going to be, we're going to go back and we're going to watch Studio Taping 99. Normally we'd be doing Yoho Municipal today, but because Jamie came on, I wanted to pick a show that Jamie was on, so I just skipped ahead.
Thanks.
Just skipped ahead. So we're going to Dayton. This was probably Jamie's second time ever. It's the second taping we ever did there with Jamie.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'll probably remember once I see the
So keep that in mind. I think you go against me. But keep
Oh,
that.
really? I thought we only ever wrestled once at the dry dock. But
Oh no, we did out there too.
did we? Okay.
And very vicious Crusher Crossen attack too in the start of the match. I just came
boy.
rushing in there, and boy, this is not like Crusher Crossen. But we'll see it when we get to it. But
Did you get booed at this one too?
no, this is our studio audience, so no, I didn't get booed at this one. Like you got booed. I could still hear it. Guys. It's been 40 years, and Jamie let me know.
Yeah.
But that was a great match. In fact, something, Jamie, me and Ricky and Ben, we had Ben Nelson. I had the two guys on last forward. We watched that match because Ricky was very intrigued with hang on, I'm going to take care of that noise right now. He was very intrigued with you. Like, oh, yeah? I think I told you this. I showed him a match of Terry Block against you from out in Dayton. I wanted to show him. I was really trying to show him Terry Block because I was planning on showing him something better of you because you had just started. Yeah. And he was intrigued with you.
Oh, that's nice.
So I said, well, let me show you something when Jamie's in it for a little bit longer. And
yeah,
of course, him and Ben, and then Ricky starts nitpicking. If in my training, I'd be getting yelled at for this, and this that you did. And I'm like, kid, Ricky, you got to realize 40 years ago, they did not nitpick training like they do today.
No,
it was not different. Perfection with a capital P. Right?
It's amazing the stuff these young guys can do nowadays.
Yeah. And I'm not, and that's not a what's the word I'm looking for here? That's not a insult to Ricky by any means. But I'm just saying, back 40 years ago, it was not like that. They didn't, even Eddie Sharkey didn't get really like, hey, you're not standing right. You don't got the right stance there. You're not, that foot should be back further. Yeah. And look, it wasn't like that. Old school had a sense of realism. They didn't want all that technicality kind of thing going on. Yeah. They wanted it to be rough around the edges. Yeah. So I got to remind him that, I got to remind him of that. Really he's just giving me shit too, though, at the same time. That's why he says it. So, well, go ahead, Jamie. I'm sorry, cut you off a number of times.
I was just going to say, seeing these kids now, and I don't even, I use the term kid. It sounds derogatory, but I don't mean it like that. Seeing these young guys, with how talented they are, and how much work, effort they put in, the work ethic they put in, like, I'm just so proud of them, and just seeing the whole new, well, I don't know how many generations it's been since us, but seeing this new generation is really, really cool and warms my heart.
It is.
These guys are doing this stuff. So,
and something, I'm going out there for like a week, and in addition to doing the special guest referee appearance and stuff and be a part of the show like that, which I'm totally stoked for. But in addition to that, I'm going to also do a little seminar for their kids class. I'll be talking to their youngsters getting trained right now. And
that's great.
I'll be doing a seminar with them and, go over a few moves.
Yeah.
Bring some books and documentaries and t-shirts and stuff for him, and looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to beat up Ricky a bit there because he's part of the train. He's one of the junior trainers, so he'll be there for demonstration purposes, right?
I wonder if, I know, like, I spent a lot of time riding BMX, if people don't know. And as time goes on, there's new tricks that are invented and old tricks kind of fall off. I wonder if there's any old school wrestling moves that kind of have been left in the past that kids might not know about that you could teach them. You know what I mean?
I thought of that. Yeah, and there is. I mean, like I could show them the hamstring pull, simple move, but they don't do it anymore. I don't even know if it's something they want to know.
Right.
Right? Because that's like an obsolete move.
Right.
But, I would probably pick, I've been thinking about this. I've been told that they've been struggling with the drop kick. So obviously I can help them on that. I'll show them how we trained on it. We did it a little differently. We'd always train people in a running drop kick, an actual flying drop kick.
Right.
And they don't. They do standing drop kicks. So maybe we change it up a little bit and I show them some running drop kicks maybe, just to get them. Because to me, for the reason we do running drop kicks is because you could run and then land on that crash mat pad. You could get a running you wouldn't be afraid of the fall to learn it. We used to pull it out of Fred Moore and put it in the ring and stuff.
Right.
And that's how I get people to do it.
Did you ever do the drop kick where your chest is towards the ceiling and you land on your back, or did you?
You did that.
Okay,
You do that quite a bit. I never
remember.
did that. I never liked that. That's the back bump drop kick or
Yeah,
kangaroo
it's
kick
a little sketchy.
or a bunny kick.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Because you can't get your hands out in front of you to kind of break your fall when you're coming down, So
yeah, I think if you do it, I see people do it off the top rope, and that's like,
oh right,
it's a better way to do the drop kick off the top rope, honestly, because it looks better.
yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm not a fan of it myself.
Yeah,
I always like doing the twist and turn and land on your
right.
stomach,
Yeah, I think that one looks better. So,
But doing it running, like they're not used to that at all.
Yeah.
Like they typically throw their opponent in the ropes and then just do the standing. They come to the
really,
yeah. Where I would throw them against the ropes, I'd go into the ropes myself and come back and we'd meet.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I always felt like that was the way to. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like that's the way to get the height on it. But
Yeah, because because I would use the spring of the ring to
right,
get that
to
extra
kind of
leap.
bounce up and get up
Exactly.
high. I mean, getting both feet into somebody's face is.
I'll tell you something.
If you think about it, it's pretty fucking amazing.
But
right?
you guys, this
like,
is the first time I'm going to be in a wrestling ring in a long time, and
Yeah.
I'm just kind of wondering, I can probably do I know I can do the drop kick, but what the hell is it going to feel like?
Right. Yeah. Well, at least the
That's
next
the
day,
Yeah,
you'll
but
probably have the, adrenaline and all that stuff and excitement of being in the ring, and then the next day you're going to be fucked.
Another move I was thinking of showing him is my 1-2-3, which I don't see anybody use very much anymore. That's a move we could bring back from the dead. That's where got him in the headlock, got you in a headlock. I run into the turnbuckles and climb the turnbuckles and then do a crossbody.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That'd be a good one. That'd be something I think they could learn. So I don't know. I got all sorts of ideas spinning in my head, but I got to come up with something for the seminar, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. So
Bore them like you bore the crowd here.
What's that?
As long as you don't bore them like you bore the crowd here.
Well, yeah. Just hearing Jamie. I know. I apologize. Just hearing his
I love it.
voice.
What are you talking about?
Just hearing Dixie Dave's voice reminds me of the brutal beatings that he took in that squared circle back in the day from everybody.
And I kept coming back for more.
That he did.
Oh my God!
Nobody in the NWF could break my spirit.
I don't think anybody in the
true.
league took the physical abuse that Dave took as much as Dave did.
Yeah.
I can safely say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really did, you guys. Not just shit. I remember Macho getting rough with him like that. Like Kelsey, everybody.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is,
Or Steve. We don't want to forget about Engstrom.
The funny thing is, I feel like typically the better wrestler is the one that can take the bumps. You know what I mean? It's not look at Bill Goldberg. Like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just pounds on people like, oh, okay. But it's being able to take the abuse and sell it and make it believable that's where the real talent lies. And so, yeah, Dave, you took the beatings and were believable and
your personality. Your personality is very important in the business. You got to have a character that they like. The problem with the AWA. Remember when the AWA was on its dying legs and they started bringing in all these guys like DJ Peterson and the surfer guy. I forget his name, but it was the surfer or whatever. He had that surfer look and these were like guys are trying to push, but they never did a promo or an interview. And it's like, who are these people?
Right.
It's like we never even got to know them because they would never. Maybe they couldn't do a promo. I don't know what it was. Yeah. But
you'd think they'd just stick them with a good manager. I mean, that's because there were plenty of great wrestlers that never talked, but they had Bobby Heenan or Jim Cornette or so. But
some of these guys were good in the ring, but not having the personality, not letting us learn who they were. It really like what are they doing?
Yeah. It seems like they needed a mouthpiece for them then.
But yeah, I mean, so Dave, being Mr. Heel himself here, trying to and you know what he's doing, Jamie? He's copying the Canary Kid because the Canary Kid's being a heel with me on Forward. So Dave's like, on Rewind, I'm going to be a heel too. And so he's trying to copy the Canary Kid is what's going on here.
No, it's just, I got tired of being two shoes. Oh yes, thank you.
Well, like I said, we're going to start up our watch along here so we can
Yeah.
watch the show. And why don't we do that? And we can keep talking and chatting away. And we'll get the show on the road here. So I'll make sure I get the right one with all three of us. It's this one. There we go. All right. So this... Oh, wait. Sorry, guys. I know I started it, but I stopped it. Because guess what I forgot to do, Dave?
You forgot to show what's coming up next.
What's coming up on the network. Now, this would have been the show we watched tonight. I believe this is already up on the network, but let's take a quick little look at this preview, and then we'll be right back with you with that watch along that is just started up. So let's watch this quick.
Yeah.
What do we got? Oh my! Double drop kick. Beautiful double drop kick.
But that's still controversial. And Taylor, Steenerson, and Butcher.
And now the fly comes in. Super D numbers. Oh my gosh! A roundhouse right. But now outside the ring they're going at it. What do we got? Oh, and that brought immediate rebuttal. But wrestling move yet. Oh, there's one. A flying kick. I can't say a drop kick because there was only 1 foot involved, but there's a pin. He's got his arms on the ropes. As far as the use of fists. Oh my gosh, at this point. Oh my! Oh, and a big drop kick. Big suplex! Dr. Destruction in. Oh, and a big kick! That super kick was right under the chin. It was beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. A big suplex! Press. Sorry. But that's okay. And lifted full Nelson.
Throw Super D1 into the ropes. Knee by Super D number 1. Super by diver, yes. Oh, right smack on his head. This does not look like Super D number 1. It looks like Super D number 2, and he gets a 3 count. Slam him hard.
Goes up for a slam on Kid USA. And a hamstring on Taylor, and that hurt him, and you know it hurt him. Need help, ladies and gentlemen, for Kid USA Kelsey. Oh my! Look at this!
Hope I broke his arm. I intended to do that.
This is the official rule book. It states in black and white the rules and regulations.
If I may,
Read 'em.
if I may,
These rules don't mean shit.
edit.
He was really influenced by Stan Hansen. Yeah, that was Jamie and I were just talking about, because we can talk during those things. We were saying, yeah, Steve, a little bit of potty mouth there.
Well, we had to learn those words somewhere.
You're going to have to get checked for Alzheimer's. You keep forgetting to do that spot.
Yeah, and who keeps forgetting to tell me? The other guy that needs to get checked for Alzheimer's. Dave, you're going to go toe-to-toe with Crusher. You're going to get it right back.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. He keeps saying nobody is allowed to talk to him like that. But yet, here I am every week. And the one thing that's different between Ricky and I, and I'm sorry to say this, Ricky, I've done it to his face.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you live from the National Wrestling
Jason
Federation
Clausen, Bobby
Studios,
Ferrari. Remember Bob
Dayton,
Pfeiffer,
Minnesota,
Jamie?
where
I
hundreds
do,
have gathered
yeah.
today
I
Used
don't
to
know why he's
baby his
dressed up
mom
like,
program on the
Didn't they
I don't know why he's dressed
babysit?
up-
We have
I don't
the
know why he's
reigning
dressed up like
champion,
Pee Wee Herman,
Crusher
but
Crossen defending his title against
He
the
does.
Irish Terror. Other people on the card, a
Paging
new
Mr.
tag team,
Herman.
the Destructors. And introducing someone new, a mystery man. Also on the card today, we have Dave Dixon and a number of other people, including Mr.
Oh, Dave. Dixie Dave
Australian
on the
Mick
show.
Waller. And
Yep.
with me right now is which they rated People Magazine one of the 10 best dressed man in the United States of America, Mr. Beautiful Bobby
What a
Ferrari.
crap.
I've got my man, the world's heavyweight champion with me.
Pee Wee
today.
Herman,
Get
huh?
the camera on him.
oh
There's the
God.
big
And
guy.
there he is, Luscious
The
Larry.
champion of champions.
Not a popular guy on our
Luscious
show
Larry
at
on
this
today's
point in time.
card.
No.
We'll be back right after these messages. You better stay tuned.
And this was at the height of Larry wanting to take things over
Right.
at this point in time. Rebuilt intros.
That looks great.
Yeah. They're done the same. They just redone. All the graphics are redone.
Yeah.
Updated to the 21st century.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really say that they're redone. They're updated.
By the way, I'm getting a special referee shirt made with the NWF logo in the corner for this
nice.
match. Yeah. For this match coming up between the Canary Kid and Ben Nelson. Yeah, we had to get rid of Slade and Run Away, I think we used originally because of the copyright issues. So we replace it with this sound-alike.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ray Johnson here. Be sure to tune into NWF.
Like I said, these shows are just like they were when they aired. The only thing is we took out the public service announcements. So normally there'd be commercials in between this stuff, like kind of like
telling you not to do drugs.
Yeah, and don't do drugs. Join the army. All that kind of stuff.
Rock Against Drugs commercials where the rockers go in and do the commercial just to make money for their drugs.
Wasn't it called Rad? Yeah.
Yeah, Rock Against Drugs, yeah.
This is producer Jason Clausen here reminding you to tune in to the NWF
Saturday afternoon special. Jamie, did you ever go on that?
No, I didn't. I don't even remember this.
Yeah, we did that a lot. That was fun.
Ladies and
oh, the
gentlemen,
promos, yeah, I
the Anoka Armory,
forgot about
Friday,
this.
March 20th at 7 p.m. night.
That's promoter Crusher Crossen talking.
Yeah.
A spectacular card.
The only one we don't have on video, guys, is this one.
The Northern Bank in Anoka on Jackson Street.
Because Steve Angstrom recorded over the damn tape. when Troy Steenerson borrowed it to him. Oh, still livid about that.
Bobby Ferrari, all the stars are going to be on Night of Wrestling.
That was a great show, too. You know, Jamie.
What year was this show? On the
it was 87, and you were on it. You and Invader 1 teamed up and went against the Destructors.
That's right.
I'm along with
this guy right here, Jamie teamed with.
Crusher Crossen.
Invader 1.
As Jason had to step out for a moment, we're ready for our first match.
They call me lightweight champion because we were merging with NCWA, and I was going to be lightweight champion where Larry was heavyweight. These are some of the things he wanted out of it. We don't recognize it to this day, though. Because
do you remember what NCWA stands for?
North Central Wrestling Association.
Okay.
Oh, hey, who's this guy with?
Well, I would say that the National Wrestling Federation outranks.
Yeah, well, he's a Weller
Right.
already. He's digging wells the way he looks.
Yeah. You know, but Ernie was never a fan of National Wrestling Federation. He had to keep NWF, though, because it was in the contract I signed when I sold him the league for the dry dock. But he did end up changing National to Northern. Instead of calling it Northern Wrestling Federation, yeah.
That's it. You know, I don't pay much attention to this stuff because there's really nothing to worry about. Here's the ring
Mr.
gear.
Macho
Just taking the ring gear
against Invader 1.
Dressing room here in the. We're out at Dayton.
Terry Block, excellent person, excellent hand in the ring, you guys.
Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember liking Terry.
Yeah, he was good.
Weller, get a load of this guy with this stick in his hand.
That's Ken Boyer reffing.
Keep this guy away from me. I got a nice tuxedo
Rick
on.
Pitts must not shown up yet.
Well, I don't.
He's hammered, so.
Yeah, he's at the bar.
A lot longer than Macho. You got to keep that in mind. You got to keep that in mind because more experience does count.
Well, I'm commentating with Bob then, huh?
Okay, Macho's got a holder in the ropes. Referee should break it.
Macho seemingly sporting the new attire.
That's you, Jamie.
Is it?
Recognize
Yeah,
that voice.
Yeah, it sounds like something I would say.
White pants it is. Yeah. Oh, a cheap kick to the knee, and that had to hurt.
I don't know. Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, I think you told us
Be the crowd.
And I
There goes the hamstring. Macho.
took it to the extreme,
This is
probably.
Invader 1.
The hamstring pull. I don't know why that's not a thing anymore.
He's been formerly one half of the National Tag Team
Because they've come up with
Champions.
other things set up for the figure four.
Just better moves, right? Because this is kind of
Who's not
like
around lately, but, he may be
it doesn't
coming
hurt.
back. But he's been around, like I said,
Yeah.
for a year, and he's been around longer than Macho, and we got to keep that in mind. Oh God!
But you know, clothesline like we just did there.
That's dangerous. People do not.
I mean,
try
if
and use
you
it
always did clotheslines in this day and age. It was one of the
You're seeing
normal
our
moves.
Do people not clothesline anymore?
Well, they do, but it's like I'm just saying, like when it comes to old school, there's a few moves that you always did: clothesline, body slam, suplex.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Maybe a leg drop.
Macho seemingly a little perturbed by the comments of some of the people in the audience here. Here he goes out the
Elbow drop for damn sure.
Flying clothesline.
Head on the mat too. That hurts.
That was a
Macho
finisher
seemingly
for
a
some
little
people.
rattled.
Yeah.
Dusty, right?
What's this now?
Yeah.
Here we go. A back body flip. He got him.
Terry's
Suplexed
good.
him right
He's good.
over.
He's good
Nice
hand.
move. 1, 2, no. Macho kicks out.
I only wrestled Terry one time, and he wasn't in Vader 1. He had the mask on. He was block. It was just like a squash match for me.
Doesn't seem to have. Did you see that move by Mick Weller?
Because his block character was just the squasher. I mean, just go against guys to get, to get the win off of.
Get that guy out of there.
Is getting his butt kicked here.
There's a drop kick. Didn't seem to connect real well.
Terry had a good drop kick too. That one wasn't the best, but Terry's drop kick was normally pretty good.
I tell you, things just.
Well, he's also selling knee injuries.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I wonder if it kind of looks like he actually hurt himself, but maybe not.
What kind of a move was that? That was so telegraphed.
Yeah, maybe he might have, but knowing Terry, he was just selling it, knowing he messed up.
He did a good job.
Yeah.
Macho seemingly with a bruise on his shoulder already.
Look at Macho.
I know. He's so good. He wants to come on too. I want to get him on.
I would love that. I would love to see that.
Yeah, he wants to come on. He knows how to get a hold of me when he's ready. We'll definitely have him on.
Going up to the second rope.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites.
Bombs away. He slipped.
That's the thing. Whenever Macho does that middle of the rope thing, he always messes it up. That was always his deal. I'm not gonna hit this.
It's such a terrible idea. Why would you jump off? It's like jumping off a spring. Like
Mick Weller seemingly trying to hit him with that stick again.
Camera zoomed in a little close. We didn't see what happened there.
I don't have to interfere in the matches of Luscious Larry.
Well, I know Luscious Larry very
Luscious Larry doesn't need me.
it was a lot better than some of the earlier shows where the sun was coming in.
Yeah, because we painted those windows
right?
black. Yeah, if you look up there, they're painted black now. So now we don't have that sun problem.
Yeah.
Much better.
So yeah, it looks so much better. And we got a canvas now too. We got rid of the. This is the first show with the canvas, I believe.
Oh yeah, I hated that canvas. Sucked. Just end up with rug burn all over my body.
It's Mick Weller as the manager. In the background there, in the back outside the ring.
I don't know that people know this, or maybe you've talked about it on the show before, but Jason's parents wouldn't let him wrestle, so that's why he's always just announcing and stuff. But Jason would wrestle like wearing a mask and stuff, or some sort of
do Rattlesnake Jake, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of times you'll see Jason in a disguise, and so his parents wouldn't find out he was wrestling.
See, he never told us that. I found that out later.
Okay.
Like, it was always an excuse. Like, I went rafting and I got hit rocks and rafting and I can't wrestle. And he'd always have excuses, but because he just didn't want to tell me.
That's why. That's such a weird thing. Like, why wouldn't he want to tell you that?
Probably afraid he didn't want to disappoint me, I guess.
Oh, okay.
You know, or maybe it was a kind of an embarrassing. Like, my mom doesn't want me to wrestle. That's kind of a lame excuse.
Yeah, but you're a kid, you know. What are you supposed to do? You know?
I know.
Yeah, so.
You know, your parents tell you no, you do it anyway.
You
Right.
will never catch me in that kind of predicament with my man Luscious Larry, because we don't have to. I save him for the big matches, the big cards, and the big money.
Bobby Ferrari.
That's okay too. Time limit's coming down.
Yeah.
Away by Macho. He come down on me. This could be it right here.
Knee drop.
1, 2. Barely kicked out again. Come on. Macho claiming
It looks like, I could be wrong, but it looks like Terry Black's got that sweatshirt inside out. I see the white tag showing on the back
Oh,
of it.
really?
Yeah.
Maybe it had a screen print or something on the front.
Maybe he just didn't want it to look red, I guess.
Yeah.
Time match. I tell you, he's backing him up into the corner, tries to get a
Maybe it
reversal.
was
Macho into the corner, tries to come out. He slips on his own feet.
Coon Rapids shirt. He didn't want people to know.
Canvas, and there seems a little slippery for these athletes.
God, were we all like? It's funny watching this because like
bulldogs him into the mat.
the top turnbuckle is like at the same height as our heads.
I know.
And it's
Can you imagine? Like the Super D's must have really noticed it.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
they were
yeah.
small guys, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, as you can see, you know, we're definitely shorter, and the ring is huge to us.
Yeah. And I mean, I think our ropes were standard height, right? So
Yeah. So Luscious Larry in action. Promo.
oh boy.
these were things that were made. Now again, I reconstruct these, but with the new footage now. But it's the same promo that we had back in the day. It's just all improved footage now, best we can.
Uh-oh, what is this? Oh,
That was such an entrance. Look at that.
I remember that. Yeah, I vividly remember that.
I mean, nobody was doing entrances like this in 1986. You didn't have this. So for that, for us to do that, what's that?
Not in the AWA.
Not even anywhere really. There was very few entrances like that.
If you look back,
Other than
NWA
Ric Flair coming out to his music, but
Yeah, I don't think he had the smoke and the strobes and the lights.
not like that.
Go back to Starrcade '83. Him versus Harley. You had the strobes and the whole nine.
Really?
I don't know. I don't remember smoke machines and fog machines and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like that stuff happened in the 90s.
Yeah,
I
it
could
was
be
like
wrong.
later.
You said
They did-
Larry is passed, right?
He's passed. Yeah, he had a heart attack several years ago.
So what happens when you do coke and steroids?
Yep, exactly. And steroids for sure.
Yeah.
And we knew he was on them because he was ornery as hell.
Yeah.
You know, it was temper tantrum fits that we noticed.
And he had no balls. No.
Yeah. he was just a jerk.
And you know that how, Jamie?
He was just a jerk in the end, though. He really was.
Yeah.
He set us back so far when he tried doing a takeover and all that shit. It just set the whole league back.
I see him here in these clips, and he's way smaller than I remember. Like when I mean, he's a big dude, but he's not.
He's big, but he's not as big as we build him.
Yeah.
We always exaggerated everything. Said he was 6'6", he's more like 6'4". 6'3", 6'4".
Well, you know, perception is reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how tall and heavy did they say Andre was? And he was never.
Nah. Even Blackwell wasn't as big as he was either.
Blackwell was great.
Yeah, he was.
With such stars as Crusher Crossen,
Great heel.
Mr. X, Kid USA Kelsey, Rattlesnake Jake, and many more. We're on Wednesdays 5 p.m., Thursdays 8 p.m. on.
But you know, we had a hell of a thing going in this time. At this time.
Yeah, we
you know?
did.
Shit, nobody was doing
Shows
anything like
twice
this.
a week.
Yeah.
Ladies
I mean,
and gentlemen, this is producer
there
Jason
might have been kids doing this in their backyard, but they were sure as hell not doing organized stuff like we were.
Live from Goop W Studios, only on cable
That's for
channel
If they
damn
were doing
sure.
wrestling, they'd be trying to do, you know,
Okay,
sense
Kenny B
us.
here at,
They'd be
ringside.
trying to do
Come on in,
hardcore.
gentlemen. Well, the
You know, bringing the adults in though, like
Good old
Ken
man
Boyer
doing
for
it around here. I volunteered to
announcing,
referee
Bob
the
for
match and,
it did give us a sense of
I should
professionalism. I will
disqualify
say
you,
that.
Boyer. Foreign objects, boards.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't care about no foreign objects or boards or whatever you call them. Right now, my man, Mr. Macho, and me are after Kid USA Kelsey's title at the March 20th Anoka Armory. We are going for it. Macho.
That's right. You just saw what I did to Invader 1. You've seen what I've done to Irish Terror, Pigsley Dave. I've even put the main
Oh,
man,
you guys.
Crusher
Yeah,
Crossen
taking a
down.
swipe
Kelsey,
here.
You think you're gonna
He's even
stand
going after
in my
me.
way. Sorry.
Thank you, gentlemen. We're all out of time, Nick.
Sorry.
We don't have any time for you
I
anyway.
remember that.
There we go again. Night of Wrestling. It was a great show. It was damn near sold out. I wish I had it on video still. Maybe, Jamie, just maybe your grandparents recorded this thing on Betamax.
It's entirely possible.
And it's on one of those tapes you haven't come across yet.
I'll definitely let you know if I come across it.
Oh, that would be a score.
Well, Crusher, it would have been a sellout, but you didn't have me on the card.
You weren't on the card?
No, the only card that sold out was the one with Crossen against Macho. Look at Dave. He's trying to come up with something, thinking. You can see the wheels turning.
Here's the thing. We've been through this. Your old timers is kicking in again. The only show that you put Dixie Dave on in the Anoka Armory was the only sellout.
Well, that's because he couldn't.
You were only on one Armory card?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, the reason it sold out is because we couldn't get that many people in there for that because Dave is so large. When he in the arena, it took up all the seats. So.
Where in the world did they?
Well, yeah, I'm larger than life.
Captain Caveman. This is one of the NCWA guys, you guys. The Hornet and Captain Caveman. This is an NCWA match.
I mean, where'd they dig this guy up?
Are these just dudes Larry was friends with from the bar or something?
I don't know, to be honest with you, where he came up with these guys. They were not really even trained yet.
Right, yeah.
So I don't think this is going to be a long match.
Like, how did he know Bobby Ferrari and stuff?
I don't know how he knew him. I think we were friends that they went to school together.
No,
Oh, okay.
no, Kimmy, he has no hair on his chest.
Well, according to the card, he's called the Hornet. The Hornet.
Oh, that's great.
Well, the Hornet's going to be sent back to his Hornet's nest here pretty quick. I don't know. He must be some new guy trying to break into the NWF.
I mean,
I don't know.
nice look though for this caveman guy. He's got
he's got the
kind of a
Yeah,
cool
man,
look.
but seemingly not too impressive. Just
Furry
yet.
things.
He's got
Waving him to
quite
come
the
on.
mustache.
How about that?
Yeah.
First time in the ring here in the NCWA, NWF, and he's.
But like I said, I know he hasn't gotten a whole lot of ring time, so I don't imagine this match is going to go very long.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right.
Captain, a flip by Captain Caveman
not
to the
bad.
Hornet.
That's not bad.
Oh, working on that arm with that knee.
Big hip, big heel throw right there, working on that arm. Look out, he scoop slam.
Yeah, they probably just
The Caveman.
his moves are just limited. Probably the only 2 or 3 moves he knows.
Two count, three
He
count.
did good though. I think.
Yeah, it was all right.
Well, I tell you, he don't
As
look
you
like
said, it
much.
wouldn't
He looks
go
like
too
something
long.
out of a cartoon
Yeah.
page, but,
No, we would
Crossen
not.
slams
We
that
wouldn't want
with a
new people to go
Caveman
too long,
as he
especially when they're
disposed
both
of
new like this. I don't know who this Hornet
no
is,
time of flat.
but he's nobody I remember.
It's not Jason Clausen in a mask.
No, I don't think so. That doesn't look like Jason.
Coming
Yeah.
up after this. Ladies and gentlemen,
It's not
this is
Steve.
Ray Johnson
I don't know who
here.
that
Be
is.
sure to tune into NWF
No, he doesn't have the hair spot
Wrestling
on his back.
with such stars as Crusher Crossen,
Oh,
Mr.
wow.
X, Kid USA,
You sure you didn't just
TLC,
bleach it?
Rattlesnake Jake, and many more.
Right.
We're on Wednesdays 5 p.m., Thursdays 8
Flying
p.m.
head scissors that I wasn't doing correctly, and Eddie Sharkey corrected me on.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm still doing it the old way here in that promo. Eddie Sharkey, I remember he specifically corrected that when he see me doing it at his training camp.
Reminding you to tune in to the NWF
we
He
did
goes,
three
it looks,
shows?
it looks okay, but you're doing it wrong.
only on
So,
cable channel
so he
3.
showed me how to do it.
So there was 3 NWF shows on a week. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
And then the Saturday afternoon
Yeah,
special.
Thursday,
Yeah.
Wednesday,
Ladies
Thursday,
and
Saturday.
gentlemen, coming
Yeah.
to the Anoka Armory Friday, March 20th at 7
Yep,
p.m.
we
night.
do the Saturday special like Monday or Tuesday morning.
Yeah, it was never. It said we said it was live, but that was just a kayfabe live. It was actually pre-recorded.
Don't want to miss this event. Get your tickets now. Crusher Crossen, Luscious Larry, the
You
Warrior,
don't
Pretty Boy
want
Dealer,
to miss
Bobby Ferrari,
this, guys.
All the stars are going to be on Night of Wrestling.
If you can't laugh at yourself, then there's something wrong.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Spectacular. Be there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have another exciting match coming into the ring.
Yeah, you didn't like that canvas, huh,
We
Jamie?
have
No.
the tag team combination of
Why? You get Matt
Dave
burns?
Dixon
Yeah,
and
I just
Block.
had Matt burns all like my
Were you wearing
elbows,
a-
my
were you
knees,
wearing
my
elbow pads?
forearms.
Were you wearing knee pads and elbow pads, though?
It just happened everywhere.
thing you have to
Hey,
do,
it's
Dixon
Dave.
has
Ah,
the
Dixie
weight
Dave.
advantage.
He certainly has that. But
Now going by David Dixon at this point.
Yep.
He grew up, so now he's going by David.
Obviously, he needs a
Yeah.
mask, and he's
I think he
a
wanted to get out of the
blockhead.
Dixie gimmick.
Coming into
Yeah.
the ring next
What,
from
who's your
Chicago,
partner, Dave?
Illinois, they
Looks
are
like Block.
the Destructors.
Yeah, Terry Block,
I've never had the-
a.k.a. Block.
I'm not going to say the pleasure.
And the Destructors. These guys are pretty new as well right now. Now, John Hoffman, the guy in the number 10 shirt,
Yeah.
was in Golden Gloves boxing at this point in time and was very damn good at boxing. He went on to nationals
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know the
and became a professional boxer, promoter, and trainer.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Who's the one with
Yeah,
the
in
funny
the state of
haircut?
Minnesota.
I have no idea. So we're just gonna call the one with the funny haircut Destructor one.
and the guy with the funny haircut, that's Gary Parr, and
Destructor one.
he's the one that had that diving accident, right, Dave?
Ring the bell. Let's go
Yep.
ringside.
What
Driving
happened?
accident over at the clay hole.
Crusher
Clay
Crossen
hole, yeah.
commented
Oh, the clay hole,
on
God.
about ring attire.
Broke
There
his
really
neck.
is no basic
Oh, you're
rules
kidding.
in professional
That's why he
wrestling
was
about ring
replaced by
attire.
the other
They simply
destructor,
cannot
Ryan
wear
Rudd.
plated
Or Rude.
elbow
Pronounced
pads or
Rude.
plated
Ryan Rude.
knees. That's self-explanatory.
Was
Or zippers
what were the
that can
ramifications of the
protrude
broken
and
neck?
cut a person
Was he
from a
paralyzed
zipper
or?
or something like that. Those
No,
are
he
so.
actually runs his own business now.
masks have to be
Oh,
checked
well,
also
that's
so that
good.
there cannot be
He was in a
flames in the
Halo
mask
thing, though, for a
or
while.
shooting
Okay,
objects. And it's pretty much self-explanatory from there. But basically,
That was,
that's it.
I
right
want to
there
say
when it comes to
between,
ring attire. But outside of that, almost anything really does go.
it was like the following
Alright, I
summer
just got
after
the
this
bulletin
show.
here. The names of these boys: Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Crackle taking off.
Yeah, I
Pop,
can't believe anybody
taking on
swam in the
Block
clay
and
hole, man. That
throws
place
him
is
in
gnarly.
Irish
I don't
It's a
think
runoff, wasn't it?
I don't know what it was. And
Yeah.
then there was all those rumors about, you know,
I know it was deep. Deep as hell.
yeah. I actually looked. I think it has a Wikipedia page, and I looked it up a couple of years ago. But there were rumors that like a train car had fallen off into the
Went
clay
into
hole, and
there?
there was a bunch of dead cows at the bottom of the.
Well, the way it
clay
was
hole.
formed is they were just digging clay. It was a big. It was a clay hole. They
Oh,
were
is
digging
that-
clay out,
okay.
making a brick company owned it, and they were making bricks.
Huh.
And eventually, they dug so far down, they hit a spring, and it filled up.
Clothesline by Block.
Yeah.
Block tags off with Dave
I had no
Dixon, the
idea. I
man
should
from
look that up.
Smoky
Clay
Hills,
hole.
Tennessee. Tagging up, he knees
Smoky Hills, Tennessee.
Snap down.
Gary and I
Snap by
rekindling an
Dave
old
Dixon.
feud.
It's a good look though. Like
Obviously,
Dave got
Dixon on a roll.
the night, you know, the Andre the Giant kind of single singlet strap
And snap
singlet.
boom. Hitting Dixon again, and,
And
one more
those
time.
boots, though,
Dixon
man, those
going
boots look
down
awfully
like a
familiar to
tub
Dr.
of
Dredd's
lard.
boots, I gotta say.
Snap
You know, but
tag,
who
tag,
wore them
Pop.
first?
And no,
I mean, they say
Pop-
DD for
Pop's
Dr.
not
Dredd.
even,
I'm
Dave
confused.
Dixon is out of the ring.
But you see, Dr. Dredd's not even on the show here.
Should be on there.
Dr. Dredd's not even a part of the NWF
Very
yet.
well possible
Actually, I
suspension
think he
coming up
just
on
was
part of
coming in
Dave
as Jeff
Dixon
Dinsmore, not
for
Dr.
his,
Dredd yet. But
misbehavior at the
So,
last
gee, I wonder where those boots
Saturday
originated.
special, I believe it is.
Did you guys wear the same size
And
boots?
taking off with Block,
Yeah.
rather
apparently,
illegally.
because yeah,
So
Boots
you're
he-
what, 11 in this, and he's what? He was what, 20?
Oh,
No, in this show, I would have been
surprising by
13.
the tough guys
Okay.
here.
Dave had pretty big feet though.
Tagging up, double
Or
teaming.
Dredd has
What do
really
they have
small
planned?
feet.
Yeah.
Well, I currently wear a
Sucker
size 13, so.
clothesline.
Yeah.
Who's the legal man in the ring right
The
now?
destructor
I'm not sure.
clothesline.
Lost control. Who's the
I
legal
think
man
this
in
is
the
Snap.
So yeah,
Snap in
when
the ring, whether or
Block's
not
in there as
thrown into
Block
the
with the
corner.
mask, he's just kind of
And
a
Block falling down, he
a
tags,
crash dummy
but
for us.
Dixon,
Right.
Dixon ain't going nowhere.
You have a little bit of
Body
offense, but
slam scoop.
That's not an easy job.
right. And
Taking
slamming
him up
somebody in
on
the
the
corner of the
arm,
ring,
blocking
not
some
smart.
pain. We
You're
can't
gonna
see
slam
under
some in
that
the
mask,
middle,
but I can tell
Yeah.
ya.
like this.
Body slam. Oh, massive power
But-
there.
Yeah, slamming somebody in the corner. I mean, we all did it, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm just looking back now with
Snap
2020 vision,
over.
right?
Forearm smash.
Who's this guy? He looks like he's on Rubber Lake Street. this
See,
guy
with
the
Gary in the
silver
ring, I
face
wasn't
mask.
really wanting to get into the ring because of the heat I had away
Yeah,
from it.
it's
How
probably
original, huh?
uncomfortable. You know, it was still fresh.
Oriental, or as I
Yeah.
call them, disoriented. What is that?
But you
Well,
were cordial with
just
each
like
other.
that.
Like you could, even when you did get in the
Just
ring
like
with
at
each
the
other, you
Winners
were
for
still
Destructors
being professional with each
Chicago.
other.
Yeah.
Coming up next, you guessed it.
Somebody opened the door.
Yep, somebody's
Championship
showing
match
up
of the
late.
NWF with Crusher
Fucking up
Crossen.
the camera.
We'll be back after
Yeah,
this.
that's what happens. All that light bleeds in.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Shut
this
it!
is Ray Johnson here. Be sure to tune in.
So we'd yell.
Why didn't we put the ring on the other side and the camera by the so the door open behind the camera?
Because that would have been smart. I mean, you got to remember, it was Larry and Ernie setting this thing
Ah,
up.
right, yeah, okay.
Right? I don't know why they did it that way, but you're right. It should have
Well,
been the
I
other
was
way.
going to use the excuse that we were all kids.
I think there was a heater thing back there too, like some
Oh,
kind of
okay.
boiler or heater deal. That would have been in the shot if we did it that way.
Right.
To the NWF Saturday afternoon special.
What happened to your
live from
hand
Good
here?
W
I was talking about how that was
Cable
right after the
channel
Brooklyn Park
49.
Armor Card, and I broke my finger, and I was explaining how I broke my finger in that match with Mr. X.
Huh.
You know, I did a power slam and stubbed my
Ladies and gentlemen,
hand
coming
underneath
to
him
the
when I did it.
Armory Friday,
Hurt
March
like a
20th
bitch.
at 7
bet.
p.m. Night.
Broke it in 3 spots.
spectacular
Really?
card.
Yeah, that's what they said when they X-rayed it.
Tickets are available at the Northern Bank in Anoka on Jackson.
All you do is put in that
You
stupid
don't
splint.
want to miss this
Not a lot they can do for a
Get your
finger.
tickets now. Crusher Crossen, Luscious Larry, the Warrior, Brady
Here,
Yeah,
Crusher
it's like ribs.
Crossen is whining about a finger broken in 3 places.
on Night of Wrestling. The NWF
You know, you look at what happened to my
NCAA
fiance, and she's still walking around.
Yeah.
The Terror going up against.
Uh-oh.
Ah, I see Irish Terror in the ring. It's like Crusher Crossen's going to be coming in then.
Oh, shit.
Certainly a crowd favorite, and here he comes. Hey, wait a minute! Right off the bat.
Crusher Crossen needs a haircut.
Totally uncalled for. I say, I mean.
See, look at that. I just Pearl Harbored you, Jamie.
I know, right? Jeez. Is this a title match?
I don't know if they mention if it's on the line or not.
Certainly unprovoked on right after the Terror. Maybe showing
That
a
is
little bit of,
Grizzly Stevens
respect for
refereeing.
the Terror.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Johnson,
I
yeah.
liked him.
He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
I didn't have
Yeah, I
this
remember
something.
I really
I
liked
tell
him.
you right now.
Oh, nothing about a title on the line right here.
Oh,
To
yeah.
hold on for the title this long.
It's a non-title match. I should have won this
What
one.
was that? Very sloppy.
Flying
Very
clothesline?
sloppy. A tremendous flying elbow, hooked him around the neck, dropped him down like a ton of bricks.
Flying elbow. I think it was a flying clothesline.
The Terror he's about
Damn near took the head off the Irish Terror.
No, I'm getting squashed
Face
here.
splitter.
Face splitter. They don't do that one anymore either, do they? I think you
Not
see
really.
that real much. No.
The man knows every move in the book.
I don't know why I'm
Ooh,
wearing
I
my
like a
knee-
little low blow there, Jamie.
Yeah.
Up against the ropes.
I don't know why I'm wearing my knee pads on my shins.
Kick, he got him. How about that move? The Terror looking for an upset. And Crusher
I need to learn
Crossen
where the
down on his
camera
back.
is when I'm going to do drop kicks.
Now the Terror off the bottom rope. Oh.
Well, I think the
Right on the thigh.
right now, I
Apparently
think
I'm
we
just
may be
into
looking at a
kicking.
new world champion.
Well, remember, this is your
I would
second
say that.
show.
Maybe,
So it's like you're very, very new
With
still.
moves like that, you're not going to win any championships. I'll tell you that much.
That had to hurt. You probably landed right on the back of my boots.
As long as he has, very lucky.
Please.
Mick Weller's guest commentating. That's what we got going on.
Another good move by the Terror.
Was that going to be a...
Back body drop. But you
sunset
fell
flip?
down too.
Is that right? Who do you think is going
What
to
am I
lose it
doing
to?
climbing on the ropes? Jeez.
One of the most
Trying to get more leverage for stomping a hole in cross.
So do you remember this match, Jamie?
I remember pieces of it, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing a figure four. Figure four leg lock by the Irish Terror.
It's that Ric Flair influence.
Yeah, using the ropes. That's gonna make
Yeah.
him. Yeah, you're gonna have to break it now.
Yeah, that's probably why I'm wearing the knee pads on the shin, too, is the Ric Flair influence. Pushing the...
See, when you use
Pushing
the ropes
Grizzly Stevens, Jesus.
in the NWF, if you use the ropes and the ref catches it, they'll make you break the hold.
On March 20th.
Yeah.
At Oak Armory.
And I'll be there.
Well, I don't know if we're going to sell any tickets because you're going to be there, but I think the fans will show up.
Yeah, I remember
Kid USA, Kelsey does not
during
get
these matches,
Just make sure you stay
running
out
up
of
to
the
the
ring.
ropes and having to put my arm up so high to get it over the top rope,
please.
you know, to bounce off the ropes. Because if you don't put your arm up, you're going to fly through the ropes.
Right.
Both
Right.
men down as the
Ooh,
Crusher
there's that running
Oh,
drop
we were
kick that we
totally
talked
good.
about.
drop kick. The Terror tries to bail
That's why they
out.
call it a
Crusher's
flying
right
drop
up, kicked
kick,
by
ladies
the
and
boot.
gentlemen.
Sets him up, looks like a suplex. Up and over. Oh,
Yeah, nice.
Nice
that'll
suplex.
rearrange his spine.
Little rough landing, but not
Flying
bad.
Drop.
You know, if you don't land nice and flush, you feel it jolted, right?
Couldn't finish him
No, I'm
off.
picking you up.
A game Terror here.
I hear
Nick
I hear
Waller,
Invader
what about
One
that
shouting,
$2,000 Slick Stevenson's put up to any man who can slam him.
telling me to do the 1, 2, 3. And Terry's a big fan of that move.
Right now, I'm taking a great bit of money.
I don't know if I do it though.
I personally don't believe that it
What's
can be
going to happen
done.
here? Oh,
What the hell am I doing?
Well, you're gonna come up with
I don't think I know what I was going to do there.
That's American money now.
Don't worry, I have sufficient means of having that money.
Possibly illegal means, I might add.
I love that I can barely get over the
Crusher
second
Crossen
rope
openly
to
predicted
get it
that
back
he
in the
would
ring.
Body slam Slick Stevenson in that match. And if he does, he wants that $2,000.
What's Jamie got in store? Oh, you were going to do a power slam.
Telegraphing my...
Yeah.
He probably have to buy himself a new wardrobe of underwear.
He was going to do a power slam.
You're a regular riot, Nick Waller.
All those little cheap shot punches we do.
Watch out,
Is
bombs away.
drop kick?
Oh, the terror
What?
spotted him at the
Oh, hey.
Oh, the Crusher.
I'm still not quite comfortable doing that move. You can tell I didn't land good.
Yeah.
Crusher in big trouble, but he rolls out
I get
anyway.
pretty good with it though after a few more shows.
Reversal.
I'm still learning that one.
We got to figure out what we're doing here.
Belly to belly? Well.
And the terror goes down like a ton of bricks.
Disaster.
Now the Crusher going on the top rope again.
Yeah,
Oh my
we
God.
definitely weren't communicating well. I
No.
can see that.
That ought to do it.
That was a good elbow.
Yeah.
Oh, no, shoot pipe down over
Yeah,
here.
here, Terry. Do the 1, 2, 3,
display by
Crusher.
Crusher.
He wanted me to do that damn 1, 2, 3 move.
Look at this man. He's a regular trapeze artist. There he is on the top rope again.
I got some. I remember this. I got so much height that I actually slipped forward there when I landed on
I think
it.
I was too far away,
Doesn't want
probably.
him. He wants to deal more punishment.
My man Stick came in and did this.
It's pile driver.
They had a
Why am
bar.
I not putting my legs
He
up?
could have broke his neck.
Oh, jeez, Jamie.
We can nitpick ourselves so much. God, Ricky, give us a field day on this if you watch this one.
I'm the only one to freak crossing out on a pile driver.
Why am I getting
Well, Dave
up so
lifted
fast
his
as a
legs.
pile
Lucky
driver?
move by Crossen.
Why are we holding hands?
Back.
I was going to say this, we shook, but we didn't let go.
Way too long of a handshake.
It was.
Oh my God.
It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the best, right? Our other match at the Dry Dock was better.
Yeah.
We're on Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Thursday.
What do you think, Dave?
Cable channel 3.
Oh, I think you guys were just having a romance moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is producer.
Yeah,
Jason
Bob was my
Watson
co-host
here,
on this
reminding
show,
you
huh?
to tune in
Bob
to
Pfeiffer.
the NWF Saturday
good, yep.
afternoon special.
He was
live
funny.
from
He could make
NWF
you laugh.
Studios
God, was he
on
funny.
Cable channel 3.
Do we know what happened to him or what's?
He's still around.
story?
I know Ken Boyer passed away with cancer.
Ladies and
And him and
gentlemen,
Ken were
coming to
really
the Anoka
good
Armory
friends.
Friday, March 20th
But
at
as far as I
7
know,
Night
um,
of Wrestling.
Bob's still around. Like, Bob's the one who told me Ken
Spectacular
passed away with
prizes,
cancer
8
a few
all-star
years
matches.
back.
Tickets are available at the Northern Bank in Anoka on Jackson Street. You don't
I
want
wonder,
I
if
know
there
he's-
are,
this
wonder if
event.
there are any tapes of
Get your
this
tickets
floating
now.
around,
Crusher
like
Crossen,
because you
Luscious
used to
Larry,
make
the
copies
Warrior,
and
Pretty
send them
Boy
out to
Taylor,
other cable
Bobby
companies,
Ferrari.
right?
Exactly. And
Stars.
people recorded it. And then this particular show was put on the regional access channel, so everybody in the metro seen it. So it was like, there's a good chance somebody recorded it.
Yeah.
That might still have it in their collection of wrestling shit from the 80s. Be nice to see that again. We're doing a throwback match from the Armory here.
Rick Pitts on the bottom rope there.
Yeah, Rick Pitts. This is the July card, the one that had 50 people.
No.
There was 50 people here, Jamie. It was our least attended event, and we were all bummed out. But think of it, 50 people isn't
That's
bad.
a lot of people.
Isn't bad for an indie show.
Like if 50 people showed up for my band, I'd be so excited. So
Well, 50 people, that's probably more than Eddie had.
Okay, we're
Yeah, I mean,
the arrival of Mr.
you know,
Destruction.
do we
on
not
our
have,
put it this way, on our worst day, we had 50 people. On
do
our
we not
worst day.
have things on the bottom to hold the?
No, we didn't have skirts.
No, I meant to hold the ring posts straight.
Oh, so there. Yeah, we just got the ring, and they didn't have any system to keep the posts. And we eventually put cables crisscrossing
Yeah, I was gonna say.
to pull them in to fix that. Yeah, we had to fix this ring up a little bit over time once we got it. We had just got it though right now, so it's brand new.
That's cool.
Sorry about the delay, ladies and gentlemen. The music was not queued up.
Chris was a little upset there, it sounds like.
Somebody wearing their mom's bathrobe.
That's what it looks like.
Hey,
Chad-
not
Chad-
got the Zion one.
And
Chad
then,
Rancor is Dr. Destruction. He's the one that's going to wrestle here, the blonde-haired guy. And he was he passed away. We lost him about 3 years ago now.
That's real.
Destruction.
No, it
How
was
do you
about 3
feel
years
about
ago.
your
It
match?
was not long after I moved back here.
Taylor.
Yeah, he passed away.
Yes.
That's too bad.
He was very good
Never liked
in the
Taylor, and I
ring.
never will.
Good wrestler.
Now
He was into
he's going
amateur
for-
wrestling as well.
You want to say stuff? What? I don't want to comment on that. Guy's a wimp. Hey. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Destruction in
And
the
Rick
ring.
Pitts was smashed, everybody, tonight in this show. He was, oh gosh, he was so drunk. I had to pull him aside and talk to him. He was screwing up finishes left and right.
Yeah, I vaguely remember a match where Rick picked me up by my tights and pulled me off somebody. Just by the back of my pants, just fucking lifted me up. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been Sharp Dressed Man, but music's been replaced by some makeshift. You can kind of hear Sharp Dressed Man still bleed through.
Yeah.
Now Steve decides I'm not going to be Stan Hansen anymore. I'm going to kind of be Jimmy Garvin a little bit now.
Yeah, I was going to say, Playboy Buddy Rose.
Yeah.
The skinny Playboy Buddy Rose.
Yeah, Steve kept going through different characters. Then he tried to be like Mr. Electricity Steve Regal. And
Taylor and Destruction about
Steve
to
was very
lock
good
up.
in the ring, though.
Yeah, he was.
Destruction does not have very
Give
good
him
words
fucking jacket
about
to his ref.
Pretty Boy Taylor. I did. I already did.
But yeah, Rick was drunk. He was so drunk on this one. I remember when I had pulled him aside to talk to him, it was just like I could smell it coming off him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, Rick, you can't show up like
About to
this.
lock up.
You can't do this.
No.
And we had another ref that night. And they were like alternating. And I told Rick, I said, you know, take a break, sober up, and then see what you can do. And so he did as best he could. He was drunk.
Oh, that was a good one.
Big clothesline
Yeah.
and an elbow smash follow up on.
Yeah, Chad was good. He
midsection
was
of Pretty Boy
good,
Taylor.
good in the ring. Dr. Destruction.
Very proud of himself. Now, I don't understand this. He's going to go over and talk the strategy out with his partner, the Ice Dragon, or his sometime partner. He gave Pretty Boy Taylor a chance to get his wits back, and that may wind up hurting him later on. Now, both men squaring each other off, walking around the ring.
Who's announcing?
That's Chris Barger.
Now walking around.
I know him.
Yeah, you know Chris Barger, the Rock and Roll Express.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, him and Mike Bauer.
An armbar on Dr.
And also CJ Pregler, who was my stepbrother's with him commentating as well. That's the one that sounds like a real little kid, because he was.
Oh, that's that armbar.
Yeah, you can see how the footage changed and now changed back. That's because there was a big snow spot in that match, and I had to get that footage from off another tape that we happened to have this match on to fix that spot. So doesn't always clean up as nice though when it's a second generation copy. But surprisingly, this July card was really pretty dark, but it actually restored well. Like you can see, like we can see the crowd real well now, and this was really a dark taping originally.
I remember feeling like we had a problem with the lights.
Yeah, we did.
You can tell right now that
If we just would have left the damn lights on in the place, it would have been a hell of a lot better. But we wanted to have it feel like,
right, like
you know, because that's what they do, Jamie. If you go to a big show, the lights would go out, and the only thing that would be illuminated is the ring, and we wanted to do the same thing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So that's why.
But it costs money, and you know, it's not like we had any money. So.
Right.
into a hammerlock. That's a hammerlock, and that is another paper. You got a lot of pressure on the elbow, and that can hurt. Now, Pretty Boy finding the ropes.
Last time at the Armory, Pretty Boy was the main event wrestler. That was a strap match with Crusher Crossen.
Yep, he remembers that one. Oh, God.
Now, very
Well,
experienced.
you know, it was okay, but Steve, like, to the last minute, I said, Steve, what are we going to do for straps? He goes, don't worry, I'll take care of it. So I had no idea what we were going to do for straps. And then the day of the event, he comes with these little tiny leather strips that were about, you know, maybe a 1/4 inch wide.
Right.
And I'm like, what the hell's this? He's like, well, it's just the best I could do. I'm like, well, we never tried them or anything until we got in the ring, and it hurt like a bitch.
Oh, God, I bet.
You know those weeping willow branches?
Yeah.
You whip each other with them? That's exactly what it felt like.
Yeah, the narrower they are, the more painful it is.
Oh, my God, did it hurt. And we had whip marks all over our arms and back and stuff.
Chicken wing.
No, we can't get him up.
Yeah, it was not a smart thing.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Now destruction setting
Up
off.
the ropes. No one home.
This is with a side leg drop. And that looked rather lame, and now Dr. Destruction pulling up a little lame.
Sounds like
Now Taylor looked
sounds like
rather
Dixie
lame.
Dave's gonna head out. He's on fumes right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, sad to say, it's been a long past 24 hours. So, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. Enjoy the rest of the show, and I will see everybody in 2 weeks.
All right, see you, Dave.
but he
Thanks for
really-
stopping
Yep.
in, man. It's good seeing you again.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
All
Keep
right,
in
see you, buddy.
touch.
Leave his partner. Now we've been joined at ringside by Jason Crossen.
I'm surprised Dave even came on the show today because he was he works night shift and he had no sleep whatsoever.
He throws him down. Elbow.
Did Rick just get kicked? It looked
I
like
didn't
he
see
did.
that, did he?
On the hip toss, it looked like he took one.
Yeah, as a ref, you got to keep you out of the way.
And Taylor.
You know,
Maybe,
so
maybe that's why he was drunk.
See, that's the one. Rick would try to sometimes crowd us too much. Like, see how he gets really close, depending.
Back and forth.
And sometimes you got to stay away.
The referee, another referee's taking an ice drink.
Bringing the ice drink.
And this is where you want to check to make sure if you're going to submit.
And now a spinning full Nelson.
Swinging
on the
full
back of
Nelson.
Taylor. And that could do it. Slams him down. Elbow smash. Now we're down for a cover. We have one. We have two.
Oh.
Kick though.
It's interesting the people that are sitting in the second or third row.
Yeah.
Are they, and there's an empty first row. Like, are they afraid that
Been taken out.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is.
gonna come
But,
flying out of the ring at him?
but you know what? I did to know how many people we had at this event. As a camera would get to each section, I would count heads.
Yeah.
And then so I'd count all the section. They just, I think it was like 50 or 51 people.
The small the back.
Right. But I mean, we were expecting 300.
Right, yeah.
You know.
Dr. Destruction.
Do you remember how much tickets were?
Seeing him outside the ring, it looks like,
Like $5 or $6 or
looks like he
something?
wants to work on that
I think
one
we
arm.
sold the tickets for like,
Big headbutt into the.
I know the October card, we were selling them
A
for
lot of people think that the match
$450 for adults.
it's not padded all that well, and you get.
And
your
I
head
think
around it.
$250 for children.
Oh, that's not
Let me
bad.
tell you.
Or it's either $350 or $250. Yeah.
Whips him
Good
across
night,
the-
Worth of Entertainment.
Please stays there.
And then we'd sell the program guides. We'd make money off that. We'd make money off concessions. There's lots of avenues. And then sponsorships. We get sponsors. So,
That was a good match.
yeah. People cheering Pretty Boy Taylor, though. That's odd.
You never see
Yeah.
that. And now let's go to the ring for the announcement.
I think he was initially going to go babyface because he thought Larry was going to be heel. But then Larry's like, no, I'm going to be babyface.
Of course.
And what Larry says goes, right? Larry, luscious Larry, I'll tell you.
Hold on, we're gonna make the announcement about the we'll make the announcement about the next one.
That's Chris Barger in the
First
white.
of all, this
Oh
is
my
almost
God,
like
here we
an
go.
old match, you telling me? The world title? Well, they say if I can't slam, well, here's the deal now.
Oh, that's
Steenerson
right.
has
Slick Steenerson, I know
first
slam, no
$2,000
belt.
purse.
Oh,
He
yeah.
says that anybody can slam him, they get $2,000. And Steenerson, you made that stipulation, and I like it. And so I took the challenge, plus added my own stipulation. If I can't slam you, and there's no such word as can't, you get the title. Well, Cena said I'm 130, you're 190. We're talking 60 pounds difference. I have to pick up my own weight plus.
Well, he's more like
60 bucks.
250.
And they say I can't do. Well, I just got out of the weight room, and I believe I can. I'll pick you up and I'll slam you. So another thing.
There's no
Cena
weight
said-
room back there, guys.
Really?
This is
No.
wrestling.
In your house?
Yeah, that's what I said I came from.
As a rock.
Yeah, those boots are hard as a rock. You know that, Jamie.
No, boom, you can't.
Because
pinch
your boots are
this.
the same.
This is
Yeah.
hard as a rock. And when that drop kick,
So if you got kicked in the face with
that drop
him,
kick comes by, and it's gonna connect in that chin.
Yeah, it
and
wasn't
knock
pleasant.
halfway down the block.
yeah, you'd feel it.
Stevenson,
Do you still have those boots?
I have mine. Yeah.
See that? Look at
Nice.
that. There's an indent.
I don't think they'll fit, but
Yeah.
I do have them.
Yeah, my feet
Steenerson,
have gotten huge as I've
I want to
grown.
point out
So
one thing right now.
it's weird. When I was, I think
competition
when I was like 25, I was wearing a
for the
size
title.
9, and I'm wearing a size
And
12
we
and a
got a lot of
half
new
now at
faces
50.
around
So
here. Who else? The
I just
Dixie
can't
Dave,
stand this
Dixie
promo.
Dance Kings. Well, I don't know why.
Well, how about Dixie Dave there?
And
You
this
can talk
Irish
over it if you
Terror
want.
kid. It's the Destructors. Oh, you're tough guys.
That's you.
Hey.
Not against me or not. You're no kind. Matter of fact, next week I'll be taking them on. I'm going to help out the Irish Terror, and we're going to settle things with them. But it's coming. And
Oh, I may tag up with you. Yeah.
Understand me?
I don't remember that.
Because when I come,
I
and
guess
just get the
on the
kid,
next show probably.
I'm going to take them in the post. I'm going to take my chairs. Anything I can get my hands on. Steenerson, you are
So you're
just
gonna cheat?
going down.
I guess so.
Because all the people are going to want to see it. They're going to want to see the big slam.
You know, the funny thing with this no slam, no belt match,
Yeah.
People get out there.
I couldn't do it.
I've been around here a long
You
time.
couldn't slam him?
No, and we were practicing this match, you know, a little bit beforehand.
Yeah.
And I couldn't pick him up. He was too heavy. Yeah, Troy literally, and I said, Troy, step on a scale. He weighed 250 freaking pounds.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my God. And I couldn't get him up. I'm only like, what was I, what did I say, 160?
Yeah, I think you said 160. but
150, 160. I couldn't pick him up.
I don't know that you were 160.
So we came up with this plan in the match. We're like,
Was he not jumping up to help you?
well, I mean, he tried, but it's just, yeah,
Yeah.
you know. But so, anyways, I said, I think I could get him up. I just couldn't get him over. So what we decided to do is I said, let's just get close to the ring. Macho, you get up on the apron when I go to slam him and act like you're trying to stop it, but really push him over.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know, so that way we can get him over. So when we did the match, we try that. We do that, but I wasn't close enough to the apron. So then I pick up Steenerson and I actually slammed him, and Mike's
Really?
trying to push, but he's like this far off.
Right.
And yeah, just the adrenaline of the match, we
that's awesome.
pulled it off. Yeah. Here, I thought Mike was helping, but I wasn't. It was my fault that we didn't get close enough to the apron.
Yeah, that's
And now
funny.
here he is, ladies and gentlemen, from Loveland, Colorado. the
Luscious
eighth
Larry
wonder of
against
the
Mr.
world.
X.
He stands 6'8", 275 pounds, being led to the ring by his manager, beautiful Bobby Ferrari from Sicily, Italy, Luscious Larry. Luscious Larry.
Sicily, Italy.
And he has no accent.
Right.
Right.
Well, joining me for this big match.
I think this is the only time. This is like the last appearance of Mr. X on the NWF.
Mr. X against Luscious Larry in a TV match.
Never came on again.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So keep want to know what armory cards are all
Yeah,
about.
because
Keep close
Brooklyn Park
attention
was
to what
before
you're
this.
seeing now.
So.
I'm a
Yeah.
little tired right now
Because once X lost the title back to me, he kind of really never did Mr. X again. He did it for this one, for Larry, but
Luscious Larry being accompanied by beautiful Bobby Ferrari, fresh out of Sicily, Italy.
yeah, it's cool how we got those lighting arrangements up there
Yeah,
to
I
light
was
up the
gonna
ring.
say.
Illuminates the ring really well.
Yeah.
Possibly looking for another manager.
You can see how those windows are painted black up there. That's what we did to
Right.
fix that problem.
Mr. X.
See, that's the thing. Larry has I don't know why he wore that stupid white tuxedo shirt or whatever, but it took
Takes
forever to
take
get
off,
it
yeah.
off. And it doesn't really do it's not I never liked the white look with that stupid tuck. He had the thing around his belly too, from the tux.
I don't know why Mr. X isn't attacking him while he's fucking around with his shirt forever
should
with his
be.
back towards him. Like, what are you?
As
But
usual,
I'm sure
taking his
Larry wouldn't
sweet
care for
time.
that.
They
So
ring the bell again, and
Normally,
off we
X
go.
would have a Jack Daniels shirt on too, and he
This could
doesn't
be
have
an
that on
interesting match.
either.
Luscious
It's
Larry against
just
Mr.
black.
X.
Normally, that'd be Jack
Mr.
Daniels.
X always has a
do you know
bag
if
of tricks.
Larry ever tried to make it in another league?
Oh yeah, he tried doing his own NCWA, flopped.
Countless
Right.
times.
As bad as
Like,
we,
did he ever try to work with Eddie or anything?
he tried to get in. He was when Troy and I made our debut with Eddie Sharkey.
Beautiful Bobby Ferrari.
Larry's on the poster too, Luscious Larry. So he,
Oh, okay.
through Steve, he got it in with trying to get in with Larry, but he no-showed the event. He didn't show up.
You're
Always dressed to the
kidding.
T.
Yeah, so that was his only opportunity. He never got another one.
No, I wouldn't give him another opportunity either. So.
Yeah, if you don't show up for Eddie Sharkey, forget it.
Yeah, no.
They're not going to wrestle him anymore.
Mr. X being bothered by the crowd. Round and round they go.
But yeah, I think he tried, but you know, Larry, the problem with Larry is I promoted him. I'm not trying to brag, but I promoted him so well.
Yeah.
Like at the October card and everything.
He's known for that.
It all went to frickin' Larry's head. And he thought he is the whole reason that that place sold out and all these people come.
Right.
So he thought he was the big attraction.
He's Bret Hart.
Yeah, but well, you know, because I made him into this big invincible thing, and it went to his head, and he thought this, you know, this is it. It's all me. So he tries to make his own league. You know, he splits away from us.
Yeah.
They do a show when we do the August card at the Armory. Larry says, "I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to book one the same day." So he booked this card out in some bar in Ramsey the same day we did our card.
Yeah.
10 people showed up.
We've heard all about those unknown
You know, we didn't have the best either. We had about 70. But the NWA was in town that night. We went up against the frickin' NWA.
Right.
Well, not smart, but Larry, 10 people. 10 people.
Wow.
And that was from Steve Engstrom. I'm sure he would have told me if it was, you know, he wouldn't lie to me about it on that.
I said I would, but it's going to have to be one of the first or second matches. They're
all over the place.
I've got other appointments I got to make. That's next week. So look at Larry.
Right now, Luscious Larry working over Mr. X.
I do like the red long tights that Larry's using here. That's a good look.
Luscious Larry would never pull something like that.
Yeah, he had a great look.
Yeah.
No, it's a skull cracker. Oh my.
Oh my.
Steve's great at taking bumps.
Yeah, he is. There's nobody better in our league for that.
I can't believe Luscious Larry using that move.
He was really good.
Oh,
And Steve sacrificed his body. He did for this.
Yeah, for sure.
Where does he get summon that kind of
And that's what it was.
He was an important part of the league.
Yeah.
Ferrari calling for that pile driver.
Steve is super easy to work with in the ring, too. I mean, very, very smooth. Dave won't agree, but
I don't think I ever worked with him.
Oh, it's all over.
because he's really rough with Dave, but Norman.
Put on the rope. There we go.
Larry's finisher was the pile driver. Yeah. Oh, he did catch it. I didn't know if he's going to catch it.
Oh, Crusher, Luscious Larry.
Have to be, not with this guy. You fight fire with fire.
Well, this Luscious Larry has been breaking more and more rules. Every match
What's
is
he going to do now? It's normally the pile driver is his finisher.
It was a tremendous body slam.
You see that ring bounce?
Look at, make a wish.
That ring was so. That was a nice ring.
It was a great ring.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember when we got the canvas, I thought that was a downgrade, and when we got the new ropes, I thought that was.
You didn't like those tube ropes, yeah.
Oh, I hated those tube ropes, man.
Well, if we got the hard plastic ones, it wouldn't have been bad because they won't stretch. But we got the rubber ones, so they would literally stretch when you went into them.
Yep, and
pinch your skin.
Pinch the fuck out of you as you walked, as you ran away.
Yeah.
Dreamland for Mr. X. And he got him. It's all over.
Hey, good for Larry.
Luscious Larry with another tremendous victory.
It's a nice press slam he did.
This week, like I said, next week a lot of action.
February 21st
See
of
these last clips of
87.
Larry.
Wow.
Till then, Kenny Boyer here
almost
and
40 years ago.
myself are beautiful
Yeah.
Library. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
February 21st. That was a great setup, though, in Dayton.
Yeah.
Of course, Dave left us, but no, that was a great setup. I really liked that, the Dayton Studios. It was just a really good setup for the show. And
do you remember how long we were out there?
We were out there in the winter, so it was all the way through the March card. Then we did the very first dry dock card after that with the NCWA. And that's when, after the March card, when Larry took the ring and the money and everything went sideways, that's when the love affair was over and everything stopped.
Yeah.
They might have still been out there in the pole barn, but then after a few weeks when I got the police involved, they had to return the ring. And then they didn't have a wrestling ring anymore. And so then Larry and his dad they built another one. So they made another ring just like that, an identical ring to ours. They made it identical. So we had two of them. I mean, we didn't have it, but they had one, and then we had ours.
Right. Yeah, I vaguely remember. Didn't you have to after you got the ring back? Didn't you have to put a serial number on it? I vaguely remember you using a metal punch to.
No, so what happened was this. When we got the ring, I thought this is huge, but this is a big thing. And I like, what if somebody stole it? Now, this is just me thinking. I'm like,
Right.
well, the police department had a program that you could serialize things and then register it with them. And then it's registered with the police department. So if anybody did have it, if it's that serial numbers on it, they could go and identify it. It was like a little serialer deal, like weld into metal, like etch into metal. And so we'd get a number assigned us by the police department, and then we get the little kit, and they have a whole kit you get. And I got this. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't even tell Steve. I told nobody about this. I just serialized every piece of steel and registered at the police department.
It's brilliant.
So yeah, when Larry and them took the ring, they thought, well, we'll just take it.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't realize that I had it serialized. And so all I had to do was just call the police and say, they got my ring. It's mine. It's serialized. You can go verify it. And they did. And then police made them return it. They had to.
So did they get in any trouble for that? I mean,
no, because they returned it. I mean, it would have been.
Yeah, but still, yeah. I mean, you fucking stole something.
It would have been a civil case, though. Like it was kind of a civil situation. So it's like I couldn't do anything about. Not only did they take the ring, they took the frickin' money. Remember, this card was almost sold out.
Yeah.
So there's probably, just knowing from other cards, like when we did, it was probably similar to the first one we did, and that gate had, but we're charging more now at this point in time too, though. So, I mean, I want to say there's probably $2,000 at least.
Wow.
That came
through
through
a lot of money in '87.
Right, because we didn't have as many advance ticket sales, more only through the door. And so yeah, they took up, and 1987, that $2,000 is like 5 or 6 today, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that was a lot of money, but I couldn't get that back. I mean, the police was asked your word against theirs, there's not, you can't prove it. So I couldn't really do anything about that. But the ring they had to return. And the way it worked, Jamie, is they were given I think a deadline by Saturday at noon or something. But Larry's father, because I wouldn't talk to Larry's dad wanted to come out and talk to me. So my mom was there too. She sat in on this. And Larry's dad came with Steve Engstrom and sat down with me and my mom. And Troy Steenerson happened to be there. He was just kind of at the house, so he sat in on this too. And they tried to buy me off. He had his checkbook. He wanted to write a check out so they could keep the ring. And here's the thing, Jamie. It was the principle of it. He couldn't, there's no amount he could have wrote the check out for that would have made me, want to do this.
Yeah.
It was because of what they did. I wanted the ring back. But the thing is, though, his dad was trying to say, everybody that came to the October card, they weren't very impressed with your matches. They really were there for just Larry. And he's trying to tell me all these things, giving me all this pitch and spiel on this. Well, if you want to buy me off, don't say shit like that.
Yeah.
You're not doing yourself any favors. And it's not true anyway. It was just his opinion.
Right.
So it's like, God, this guy's like giving me this earful of shit. And I'm like, I remember, and then my mom, she was so mad because she knew that Steve had stolen our camera. We had a really nice Nikon camera and it went missing.
Yeah.
And she was convinced he took it along with a Teddy Ruxpin that my sister had.
Jesus Christ.
These things went missing, and it was an expensive ass toy back then, right?
Right, yeah.
And this shit just went missing, and my mom just laid into Steve saying, you turned your back on him. She just laid in onto him about how Steve just turned his back on me at the time, and you stole our camera and our Teddy Ruxpin. I remember Troy was trying not to laugh because it was just the way my mom said it was hilarious.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, my mom laid into him. And my mom too was just like me. She's seen how I was like, no, we don't want any money. We don't want any money. He's keeping the ring. Just return the ring. The ring's coming back. So they had to return it.
Yeah, I guess I don't get it because, you say it would have been a civil thing, but if I steal stuff from Target, it's a criminal
theft, I know.
Right? So why is it because you're not a business? Why would it be a civil thing?
I know. I don't understand
I think the cops
either.
probably fucked you over on that.
Probably.
But the fact that I had it serialized and they had to, they could identify it, they didn't see that coming because nobody knew.
Yeah.
Had they known it was serialized, they would have fucking
grinded it off
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was just smart on my part, but
that was good. Yeah, very smart.
And Steve's argument was that he owned part of that ring because he traded car parts and stuff to get it.
Oh yeah.
As well, which he did. But my argument back was, yeah, you did that, but that was a donation for the NWF. This was the NWF's ring, not your ring or my ring, and I'm the one running the NWF right now. So, but yeah, Steve, it's really hard for me I have so many mixed emotions on Engstrom just because I know all the crap he did to you guys and us and everything, and stealing stuff, taking people's money, all of these things. These are all true things that happened. At the same time, he gave me the best matches I had.
Yeah.
Me and Mr. X or Pretty Boy Taylor, we had some really, really good matches. So in the ring, he was phenomenal. And so it's a double-edged sword. It's a sword that cuts both ways.
Yeah. I think you kind of got to look at it like, there's all those musicians who put out great music, but they're fucking creeps, I mean, you just got to kind of separate the art from the artist. And, the shit that Steve did or whatever, doesn't mean he wasn't a great wrestler. It doesn't mean that he wasn't, an important part of the league or the league's history, so.
I'm just thinking, did you ever have a match with Engstrom?
No, huh?
Never, huh? How about practicing or anything like that?
I don't recall.
Yeah. Yeah. So otherwise, I don't think. Probably never in the ring though, huh?
No. Almost positive on that.
Yeah. He wasn't always smooth with everybody. Dave claims he was rough as hell with him.
Really?
Stiff. Yeah.
That's too bad.
Steve. What happened with Steve Engstrom? Like, he was super easy to work with in the 86, but when he started getting the big head with Larry and all that, and he started becoming more aggressive with his character, that's when he started stiffing people and just getting really rough, and he was wanting to be more offensive and not doing what he was good at, and that was selling.
Right.
He's trying to do that less and trying to be more of a tough guy in his character, and that's. I've said this many times, Jamie. I think Steve's biggest downfall with Pretty Boy Taylor was he tried to be a tough guy. Should have been the chicken shit. Should have been the Bobby Heenan chicken shit weasel, which he was very good at.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Although, when he's wrestling smaller guys, it kind of makes sense that, he wouldn't be taking the bumps. You know what I mean? So.
Right. But it was what made him. It was what people love to see.
Good. Yeah.
He could get thrown into the turnbuckles and do that whole Steve Regal flying in backwards, with his legs out. He could do it all. Steve could even do the Ric Flair flip over the top rope deal. He did that
really?
Too. Yeah. Yeah, he could do that. I mean, we got that on tape.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Speaking of on tape, so we talked about it on here a while ago, and we don't have our regular crew in here tonight, guys. By the way, if anybody has comments, feel free to comment. There are people watching, but we don't have the normal guys, Gizmo and all those guys, but they might be busy with Sky Sports stuff. But anyways, we talked about how you came across a very cool tape that you never thought you had none of this stuff. I've told the story before that there was a time when Jamie made his own league, a sister league to the NWF called the CWF. Is the CWF? Yeah. And what did that stand for?
I think it was Central Wrestling Federation.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was Coon Rapids or Central.
Yeah, I don't know that it was Coon Rapids, but
probably Central. We always want to be bigger than we were. You there, Jamie? Looks like you froze on me.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I can hear you. There you are. You're back.
Yeah, okay.
So Central.
You need to sell, make things bigger than they are, It's like Kiss used to bring a bunch of empty speaker cabinets and put them on stage. That's what you got to do, So, but yeah, you know, I really loved wrestling, you know, being a wrestling fan, but also being involved in wrestling. And it was at a time when NWF was kind of on, you know, things were pretty slow. You know, I want that, like, that's all I wanted to do. And NWF was kind of on a
Well, we got
hiatus a little
burned.
bit.
No, I just
so-
got burned out because they tried to take the ring, and it took a lot
Right.
to get it back. And then I got the ring back, but I was just burned out. I needed a break,
Yeah.
and so Jamie at this time then wants to start something then because he wants to do it. He was just gung ho, and my thinking at the time was, okay, like, yeah, I got the ring, and I think you even asked if you could use it, and I was like, no, Jamie, I want you to build your own because I want you to do what I did. I want you to build
Yeah.
it and make it your own. You know, really build it, and because if you build it, my thinking was if he builds it and makes it himself, it'll mean more to him. It'll
Right.
really be more vested. And that was my thinking. Now I look back at this now and I'm thinking, like, what a fucking idiot I was. I should have just said, yes, Jamie, use the ring. We're not using it right now. It'll look better.
No,
you
no,
know?
no.
God,
No,
I can't believe I did that.
No, it was great because you had given me the plans for like a previous ring that you had built, or at least, you know, drawn them for me and showed me how to build it. And so I constructed the ring myself. It wasn't great. And you know, I know this term is it's not very politically correct nowadays, but yeah, I'm from the 80s and 90s. I'm good at being a chief or being an Indian, right? So, you know, and it's like playing in bands, you know, bands are always dictatorships. They're never democracies. There's always one guy that owns the van, that books the shows, that gets the merch printed, you know, like there's the dude who does all the stuff. And so, you know, you were that guy in the NWF, right? You own the ring, you booked the shows, you did the editing, you know, everything, all that stuff was done by you. And then we just came in and were your worker bees, you know, and that was fine. But, you know, again, NWF was kind of on hiatus. And so I saw it as my time to try to be a chief. And so, you know, and thankfully I had you to mentor me on this stuff. And, you know, you taught me how to get in with a cable company and take the classes and do the proven proficiency, stuff that I needed to do so I could make my own cables, public access shows. And you taught me how to use the CG machine, the character generator is what it was called. It's a big typewriter computer thing. And that's how we
got
titles.
Yep.
Yeah. And, you know, taught me how to do all that stuff. And I started out just doing interviews for my wrestling league that didn't exist in my bedroom with like my blanket hanging up as a backdrop.
And I even showed up for one of those.
Yeah.
I had the belt because we were doing the whole idea was I was going to be like the Ric Flair coming into the territory with the belt kind of angle with Terry Kosnapple. Yeah.
And so
we kept doing these angles.
We had Dixie Dave and Ice Dragon and some other folks that were from NWF that still wanted to, you know, do stuff.
Mr. Destroyer.
And
Mr. Macho.
Mr. Macho was a huge part of it. He actually purchased the ropes for the ring and gave to me as a gift, which was very nice because I didn't have, you know, I was 12 or 13. I didn't have money.
Mike worked at Old Country Buffet, and he would spend the money on just so you know, Mr. Macho came up with the money for the Anoka Armory for our last card there as well.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, he funded that.
Wow.
And to get the down payment and stuff, and also took us all out to dinner at a really expensive steakhouse that night and rented a limo. Yeah, Mike spent a lot of money on us.
I loved Mike. He was one of my favorite people in the league. And, you know, when things kind of fell apart, he kind of vanished. And I always felt bad about that because I felt like I liked Mike outside of, you know, just wrestling. You know what I mean? I didn't want him to be a friend that was just from wrestling. You know what I mean? And so, I was really bummed that, you know, we lost touch after wrestling stopped or whatever. So
a lot of us did, Jamie. Once the show was done, we kind of all went in different directions.
Yeah, but me and Ice Dragon hung out a bunch, you know.
I mean, we did a bit, but
like and you and I did and stuff. But yeah, so the league, so I think we only ever had one card, and basically there was a like gazebo out at a public park in Coon Rapids where you could talk to the city and get a permit to where you were the only, you could use the gazebo. It was a big giant gazebo.
And you did that, right?
And we did that and brought the
Remember,
ring
guys,
out there
put this
and-
in context. Jamie is 12 or 13 years
Yeah.
old. 13 maybe.
Yeah.
And
probably
he went to the city hall and got the
Yeah.
permit.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So, and yeah, we had one taping out there, and I what Sean's talking about is I came across a copy of the card on a Betamax tape and digitized that. So I'm going to be giving that to Sean soon-ish, and
But he's
yeah.
waiting because he's got more tapes to go through, and he might find more stuff. So you never
Yeah,
know what he's going to
so,
come across.
yeah,
Because
it'll be
Jamie did several shows. Like he might have only did one wrestling card out there, but he did
Yeah.
a lot of talk shows with this league as well. He might come across some of that still.
Yeah,
So
yeah, hopefully. So, but yeah, the problem with the reason we didn't have any more cards was the ring that I had built were what were they, 12 foot? I think it was a 12 by 12 ring. And
Mhm.
so it was a 12 by 4 foot four. Yeah, I think it's 12 by 4 foot sections. And they were heavy as fuck. And there was 3 of them. And getting some, trying to get my uncle with a truck to drive it out on a Saturday morning to the, from my grandparents' house to the park. I got him to do it once and never again. And unfortunately, I'm not going to complain about my grandparents. They let me store the ring in their yard for probably a decade. It sat in their yard and all the, but I'd asked them if, could we have the wrestling thing in your yard? And they're like, absolutely not, cause nobody wants kids getting sued or kids getting hurt and people getting sued. So that was a tough thing, but they did let me store it under a tarp in their yard for at least 10 years. And every time I see my grandpa, he'd be like, can we get rid of that ring yet? And I'm like, well, not yet, and but we ended up never using it again. So
because Jamie never knew, maybe we'll use it again.
Maybe we'll,
But the thing is, though, like so Jamie, when he came across this, he had to record a little snippet and show me. He texted me right away. He goes, look what I found. I don't believe this. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it and I see the Ice Dragon doing an elbow to Mr. Destroyer, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" Because I don't remember this.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then it's Jamie doing a flying drop kick, and this is like the beginning of the show. Then he comes on, he's on the phone, he's like, "Yep, okay, Crossen, I got it, yep." He's like supposedly talking to me,
Yeah.
Good stuff, though.
Oh man, yeah.
Good
So
stuff.
yeah, that'll be. I haven't even watched it yet. I just I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wait.
Just get it digitized, let it do its
got
thing.
it digitized, and it's still going through all the tapes, and then once everything's digitized, then I'll kind of go through and cut off the beginning and the end, because what it does is it just like records for 2 hours or whatever, and the tape may not be 2 hours long, so I just hit play and I just fucking live my life and come back, set a timer. 2 hours later, come back, swap the tape, so yeah, I'll get it all trimmed up and sent off to Crusher.
And then I said we're gonna do a special watch along on that with you on here because we gotta do that one live.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to not watch it at all before the watch along, so it'll be a surprise for all of us.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty cool.
I might scrub through the tape just to make sure I didn't film any. I didn't tape any Cinemax softcore porn over the top.
Well,
of it.
it's funny you mention that because I had one of my wrestling shows. We're teenagers. We watch all sorts of stuff. We record these kind of things. If I come across porn, I would have the little tuner thing and I'd untune it and I'd get porn.
Oh yeah.
Back in the early days, and I'd record it because I'm a teenager.
Yeah.
And one time I didn't realize I had it at the end of one of our freaking shows. And so I had recorded the show on this tape, and then there was some. And what happened was the cable company didn't stop it at the end.
You're kidding.
And all of a sudden we got porn going on over on
Really?
Access.
Wow.
Yes, it happened. I'm like,
That's
oh my
amazing.
gosh, this is not good.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so that actually got caught on.
That's probably softcore anyway, so
Luckily, Tronson didn't see it.
Oh,
Because
God,
he would have
that
suspended
guy.
us for sure.
God, Tronson.
Yeah, if he would have seen it.
Old man Tronson.
Old man Tronson,
I wonder
yeah.
what that guy's up to.
I don't know. When I did the documentary, I reached out to him to see if he would do an interview for it, and he was not interested.
Really?
Yeah.
What a dick.
He just not hasn't changed, I don't think.
Yeah.
No, he just wasn't interested.
Yeah,
Just said
get
life
over
was in a different place now or whatever in his life, and he just didn't want to really talk about that anymore. So, but
get over yourself, you know.
you know the you remember Tronson, don't you, Jamie?
Vaguely. I don't think I ever had to really interact with him at all.
Deal with him.
I think
You remember the guy with the long hair in Coon Rapids, right? The hippie guy?
Tony, yeah.
Tony,
Yeah,
that was his
Tony.
name.
Yeah, he was we were super good friends. Like I really liked that dude. He was
nice.
Tony was probably, I don't know, probably in his mid 30s. I think he was the first gay person I ever
Oh, I didn't know he's gay.
Oh yeah. And he was just like this gay hippie dude.
Yeah.
And I remember he would he never wore shoes and he had a ring on one of his toes.
Didn't he have sandals or something?
It was either maybe it was sandals, but
Yeah.
I remember he had a toe ring on and I was like, that's so weird. But I mean, I'm this annoying like 12 or 13-year-old kid coming into his fucking work all the time and bugging him, and he was super cool, put up with me, encouraged me and helped me do the, because I didn't after the wrestling stuff, I did some like variety shows on public access too, because I didn't have any friends and nothing to do,
Right.
and no money, so I did some like stop motion stuff and skits and all kinds of wacky shit, and he put up with it, and he was really cool guy. I wish I could remember his name and knew what happened to him. So
I don't know if you remember, Jamie. Do you remember the bowling league we were all in?
I don't know that I was a part of that.
You were, because I remember picking you up. Yeah, so we'd had a bowling league. It was at the Coon Rapids bowling alley over there, right by the public access.
Yeah, by public access
over there. And I know exactly who it was. It was me, it was you, it was Ice Dragon and the Fly, and Troy Steenerson. It was the 5 of us.
Okay, that sounds.
And we went bowling. We'd bowl every Saturday morning. And I was the guy who had the car, so I had to pick everybody up. I had to go get Troy, then I had to go get them two, and then I had to get you. But you and Chris and Jay were all close.
Yeah.
But anyways, the one day when we'd always put our names up normally on the thing. Well, one time we said, let's do our characters. So
nice.
we went Crusher Crossen, the Irish Terror.
Yeah.
I think it was Ricky Vaughn though.
Yeah,
Ricky Vaughn. Slick Steenerson. We put all our wrestling names up on the bowling thing. I remember.
That's funny.
It was a teen league or whatever.
Yeah.
It was fun.
So later on in life, I got into BMX and ended up being a BMXer for a long time. But I worked for a BMX company that like made bikes and stuff. And when they found out that I wrestled, they were like, well, what was your wrestling name? So I told them, it was Ricky Vaughn, and they made hats, baseball caps, with their, logo on the front or whatever. And then they did like runs of like 12 hats with just custom stuff on the back. And they made a dozen hats that said Ricky Vaughn on the back, embroidered on the back. So we should still have one of those too, but I do not.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So what did, like, out of all your characters, what was your favorite? Like, which one did you like?
I feel like I never really landed on a good persona or anything like that. That's why my name kept changing and that sort of thing. So, that was kind of a disappointment. It's always hard to, it's like coming up with a band name,
Well, how did Irish Terror get created? Now, first of all, this is a question that I've been getting from all those guys over there. Do you have any Irish in your blood?
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I'm actually it's funny because my last name is McParland, so people always think I'm Irish, but I'm actually half Scandinavian and then half like German, and then quarter German, quarter Irish. So
okay.
But the Irish Terror name came from, I feel like it was Jeff Dinsmore that came up with it.
Yeah, I think that's what you were telling me before.
Yeah. And I showed up wearing like a karate uniform. And he's like, and the funny thing is, I didn't even know for years later, I didn't know anything about the Troubles in Ireland
Oh,
at
the Civil War and all
time.
that stuff.
Yeah, so I didn't.
I didn't know anything
anything
about that either until Ricky educated me on it.
Yeah, and so you know, I didn't know they, you know, the British considered the Irish, some of the things the Irish were doing was terrorism and that sort of thing. And so I'm assuming Jeff knew, and that's why, you know, the Irish Terror, you know, because he was like an adult, so I'm sure he watched the news, and that was probably on the news at the time.
I think he said something like McParland. How about the Irish Terror?
Yeah, that's
something like
that's
that.
exactly what happened. So I was like, okay, and I was never, you know, it had zero meaning to me. I didn't, you know,
right. But you weren't sold on it, so you did that for a bit.
I wasn't sold on it. You know, I didn't know anything about the terror part. I wasn't particularly close with that side of my family, so I was like, you know. And then I think I was Invader 3 for a little while, right?
Yeah. This was just the influence of Terry Black. Everybody wanted to be with him.
I think I'd gotten put on a card with him at the Armory, and
so it was your first Armory show.
Yeah, I think you knew that I wasn't happy with my name / gimmick, and so you were like, well, why don't we be Invader 3? And so, but you know, that sucks when,
because Chad was done, like he hurt his knee, so Terry didn't have a partner anymore, so we needed a new Invader. So you were just up for the pickings for that.
Yeah, and then, you know, that doesn't really work unless you're going to be a tag team guy all the time. You know, it's weird to be a singles guy being Invader 3. People are like, what the fuck? You know, so at that point, then again, it was like, okay, well, we need a new name. And I don't know where Ricky Vaughn came from. I will say that I came up with it before the movie Major League came out, where the picture,
was it before that?
Yeah. And the picture in the movie was named Ricky Vaughn, but it was spelled differently. And so now people all the time think, you know, oh, you named yourself after the character in Major League. And it's like, no, but I honestly don't know where the name came from. I've never been super keen on my name.
Everybody started changing their name in the end at the dry dock. I remember Mr. Macho didn't want to be that anymore. He wanted to be Jammin' Jimmy Voigt.
Really?
Yeah, so it became Jammin' Jimmy Voigt.
That's too bad. Mr. Macho is such a great name.
Was. And we still refer to him as Mr. Macho in the NWF history
Crusher
stuff.
Crossen was a great name. Kid USA Kelsey's a great name.
Slick Steenerson.
Slick Steenerson's a fantastic name.
Yeah.
I don't know that Dixie Dave is the best name, but
he was, I think, if he could do it again, he'd call himself Diamond Dave.
That's good. That's much better than Dixie Dave.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not like, you know, you think Dixie Davey would come out like with the rebel flag and, you know, a podunk, you know, that would be what that character is. And he never dressed like that or anything, you know what I mean?
Right.
But, you know, it's not like we had money to buy gimmick stuff. You know?
Right. Because like when my fine feathered friend, Ricky Henry, my co-host, Canary Kid, when we were doing a forward show a month ago or so, and I showed the match with you and and Terry Block.
Yeah,
because I wanted to see Terry Block first. I was really wanting to show Terry Block, but you happened to be in the match with him. I had plans to show a better match of you to show you later to him. But anyways, he was fascinated with you. He goes, you know, it might just be Terry. He kept calling him Terry Black. Might just be Terry Black making him look good. Black, you know, they have that accent.
Yeah.
Maybe just be Terry Black making him look good. Yeah. But I'm really into this Irish Terror. You know, he was really into you. And
well, it's probably just because of the Irish.
Maybe
or whatever. You know,
But he thought, you know, for the fact that you didn't have a lot of experience, you looked pretty good, and you had the boots, you had the look. And that's what really intrigued him with your gimmick.
Yeah, that's great. That's so nice to hear.
And so with Keaton as well. Like I asked, I don't know if I told you this yet. I said, hey, Keaton, who would you like to? I just asked Wrestling Revolution Keaton this like a couple weeks ago. I said, now that you've gotten to know some of the, you know, he's read the book, he's got the documentary, he's very familiar with a lot of us. I said, now that you know a lot of the characters that we had, if Wrestling Revolution Keaton could go back in time, who would you want to match with? And you know who he picked? The Irish Terror.
Really?
He did.
That is a mistake. You should have picked Crusher Crossen or Slick Steenerson or Mr. Macho.
No, he just thinks that, you know, watching your matches that he's seen and stuff, he just thinks that you could work very similar to him, could work a good match. He just,
yeah. Oh, that means a lot. That's very sweet. So
Yeah, he did say that. I guess got to tell you.
Yeah.
And he'll
Well,
watch
tell him.
this. He watches
Tell him
all
I
these
said
rewinds.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you'll see
That
it.
means a lot. And yeah, I wish you know, I wish we would have been able to do it longer. I wish I knew then what I know now. You know, just about
same here.
you know, working and
you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, there's so much that you know we could have done so much better.
I know it's hard sometimes. I nitpick ourselves so much now, and it's really tough, Jamie, for me to watch the early stuff. Like, but the fans love it. But when I watch the Group W stuff and all that, it's tough.
Well, you
it's
got to
really
think.
Tough.
You know, my wife asked me something interesting the other day. She's like, "When did you figure out that wrestling wasn't real?" And you know, when we were kids, I mean, kayfabe was a real thing for a long time,
and we even exercised it. We didn't know it, but we did the same thing,
right? And so
didn't know it's called that though.
You know, so there was not a lot. You know, we didn't have the internet, and you know, we just had wrestling magazines and what we saw on TV, and then we just had to figure it out all ourselves. You know, I mean, we had to invent. You know, there. Yeah. So
and it wasn't easy. I mean,
no.
And you know, my biggest thing too is, so I watched this early stuff. We didn't know what we were doing in the beginning. We were just kids having fun, clowning around, and it looks like it sometimes.
Yeah.
But what you have to remember is, back at that point in time, even though we might have been clowning around and it didn't look professional, you know, completely polished, there was nothing like this.
No.
Like, you know, you didn't have kids doing this, and even what looked like a ring, that was not happening.
Yeah.
So for other kids and stuff, they were like, this is cool stuff. And they were even entertained to watch it, as well as wanting to be a part of it. And the other thing I always got to remind everybody, especially my friends like Ricky, who like to just critique us.
Yeah.
And he does it because he likes to rub it in with me as well. And that's part of giving me shit. I get it. But what I got to remind these guys is, back in these days, it was rough around the edges. It wasn't polished like you guys are today.
Right.
It was not like that. Nobody was.
Yeah.
I mean, even Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat, who I'd say would be the best at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
There were very few Ricky Steamboats and Ric Flairs out there.
Right.
I mean, that was a very rare type of. Not everybody was that good. Yeah. Most of the guys in the business even were kind of sloppy-ish a little bit.
Yeah.
Rough. I always call it rough around the edges.
Yeah.
And
you know, the funny thing is, I wonder if, you know, the young guys coming up now, if they look at our time, kind of like how we did when, you know, we saw wrestling from the 50s.
In the 60s.
Yeah.
The golden age.
Yeah. Where, you know, wrestling had just kind of got at that point. You know what I mean? It was, you know, and even back then, you know, when I watch some of that stuff, it seems like they may have just started where it was not real. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
well, what I think, I don't know about you, Jamie, when I think of that 50s and 60s black and white stuff.
Yeah.
At the time when I was a kid, I was like, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
This isn't exciting. Mainly A, because it's black and white, and then B, even the matches themselves, they were more wrestling.
Right.
And less entertaining.
Yeah. More, way more. It was way less of a show. It was way more like the professionalized version of amateur wrestling, right?
Exactly.
Or high school, collegiate wrestling.
It wasn't really like showbiz style.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily interesting to watch. And the other thing is, because we didn't know who they were. So it's like, who are these guys?
Yeah, that's true.
We don't have that either. I think though, when my friends in Ireland, like Canary and Ben and John and all those guys, when they and Officer Smalls, by the way, I got to talk about what's coming up, and I'll get to that. But we have Officer Smalls coming up here, sure, and I'm going to talk about that. But when they watch us, I think they see a lot of, you know, we're not that far off as far as, you know, we're still somewhat entertaining. You know, we're not like the 50s and 60s,
right?
But we're not nowhere near as good as they are.
No.
So when they look at us, I think they say, "Oh my gosh, you guys, you don't match up."
Right.
And they're right.
And yeah, absolutely.
We don't have. I've never said we do.
Yeah.
So I've always said that, we're not anywhere near them, because today the training is 10 times better.
Yeah.
And
well, and just
style is better.
Yeah, and just the knowledge and their influences, because we were influenced by gritty ass AWA and NWA, which was just grimy,
grimy, gritty, and you wanted it to feel real,
right?
And if it's going to be real, it's not going to be picture perfect choreographed,
right? And now, Sean and I came up in a time when while we were wrestling fans, someone invented walking out to the ring with music, right? Like there was a time where dudes didn't come out with music,
right? Or not very many, only a few.
Yeah. And and now there's, and
everybody's got an entrance music.
Yeah, I don't watch a whole lot of music, but now there's fucking explosion, it's like
High
crazy,
attractics.
the entrance stuff,
Yeah.
And so that's their kind of bellwether, what their jumping off point is for. And so kind of watching us, they're like, the hell, so.
But I will say this, and of course I've been talking about this, and I got to bring the picture in. Whoops, not this one. I'm bringing that in for. This is the one I wanted right here.
Reminding everyone you were the champ at one point. Is that what's going on?
Reminding everybody. But this is we've been talking about this, and I got to bring it up. But the thing is, with these guys, with Ben and Ricky, they are so excited for this match. Like they're just as excited as I am, Jamie. I mean, because they know the importance of what this organization was for us, and they see that, even though they weren't part of it, they understand that. So they're very, very, just so you know, the two of these guys, both of these, in their game plan here, they want to make it the best match they've ever had. I mean, that's awesome. How they're going into this. So because they want it to mean something. So that's pretty cool to have the respect of these guys, you know, to want to really make a big deal of this. And I can't say enough to Nathan Hoy, who runs the league out there, to be willing to do it, and to let us have this platform to put this in the spotlight. I can't say enough.
And also, I really want to, let these guys know how much this means to us, right? Because this is our heritage and our legacy, and to see it carry on means a lot, and I'm so excied that the belt's going to Ireland no matter what, and that these guys
making it a true world championship.
Yeah,
Jamie.
absolutely. It was funny. I was looking at the picture of the belt, and I was thinking we should probably peel off one of those things and stick Ireland,
or at least put Europe on there.
Yeah, Europe for sure. So.
USSR kind of dissolved. It's not really maybe that's the one that gets replaced, but
you're not the champion of the USSR. It doesn't exist anymore. So.
Yeah. Goes to show how old the belt is.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, that I think that's cool as hell. As a matter of fact, this is something that I kind of worked on. I wanted to show this. A t-shirt. You always have to do t-shirts for the things we do, and I came up with this little design here today, and I shared it with Nathan and the guys. They love it.
That's cool.
But yeah, the t-shirt, it's not up on our store or anything yet or anything like that, but you got to have a t-shirt for a big event like this, right?
Yeah, for sure. So June 1st. So is this going to be live streamed by any chance? Like how are NWF fans going to be able to see it?
We will eventually get the match, because but they don't do it live. Like they'll record it and then they'll edit it together properly.
Yeah.
And then when they do have it ready, they'll provide us a copy that we can put on our channel.
Great.
And they'll have it on their channel as well.
Nice.
And so eventually we will see it.
Yeah.
One thing we are planning on doing though, Jamie, is, and we haven't talked about it too much yet, but when I get out there, I will be there for like a week. So Ricky and I said, well, why don't we do an NWF Forward live from the dojo?
Oh, that'd be cool.
In the ring. We'll have Canary Kid and Ben Nelson, kind of on a table with the belt and everything, and we'll make a whole show of it. So yeah, we're thinking of, if we can get that. We got to talk to Nathan on that yet, but I think we can make it work. And then we'll do a little bit earlier, it's like 7:00 Ireland time, because I'm not going to do it at 2 a.m.
No.
In their time. That's what it would be in the normal time, right?
Right. Yeah.
But we'll do a special show from out there,
And but I don't know. It's gonna be. I don't know what's gonna happen, Jamie. I'm from America, and with our reputation, I might get booed when I go to the ring.
It's, at this point, I would boo you. As talk about a fucking heel turn. Holy shit! This the America heel turn, has been probably one of the biggest.
But I mean, I just don't know what they're gonna. And not only that, besides the politics, I mean, Ricky and I have been at each other's throat for 3 months, and that's they love him.
Yeah. Oh, really?
So yeah, like he's the big, everybody loves him over there, and I've been doing nothing but throwing him through the ringer, and he's been doing the same to me. Although on the last show they had, it looks like Canary Kid kind of going down the heel road a little bit here.
Ah.
Yeah, he ruined it for the tag team. They lost the match, and not a good day for the Canary Kid.
Yeah, that happens.
So I mean, we'll see what happens with all of that. But I'm just looking forward to it. And it's going to be a really fun thing. Let me just talk quick about what's coming up on future shows here quick before we get off. So what we've got coming up, first of all, coming up tomorrow, everybody, on Kayfabe with Keaton, which also streams on our channel. He's got Marty Jones coming back again. Normally I would come on these too, but I'm not going to make this one. But because it's during my busy time when I'm working. But Wrestling Loyalty, Johnny Saint. Apparently Johnny Saint's a big deal. Like I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, I don't know that name.
But he's a big deal over there. So and the two of them are going to be on, hopefully, as long as these guys are really old now and are not good with technology. So I'm hoping it works out okay for them. But yeah, we'll see.
Do we know what I'm going to show my ignorance here. Do we know what professional wrestling is like in Europe as far as like, is it like an NWA system where it's territories? Is there someone that's large-ish like the WWF? I mean, I know the WWE.
You mean you're talking today?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really. It's just kind of like the territory. It's really what I would say it is. It's just a lot of regional independent promotions.
Okay.
Is what's going on over there. Like in Europe, there's I don't know how many of them. In England, I mean, there's a bunch. And they got some, and they're just in every country has like there's like their little kind of like their indie feds.
Right.
This is a whole collection of them. I will say this though, Northern Ireland Professional Wrestling, the one we're affiliated with Canary Kid and Ben Nelson, and all that. I would say that's the biggest, the biggest rising league in popularity over there for sure. Like they're really growing fast. Like it's a good league to be affiliated with.
Yeah.
They're just they haven't been around long, only a few years, like 4 or 5 years now or so, give or take, maybe 3 or 4. But they have really, really grown, especially in the last year. So that's pretty cool. And then our next forward show with me and Canary Kid, we've got coming back with us Officer Smalls, San Antonio Style Wrestling. This kid's good, Jamie. He's really good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Nice.
15. I want to say he's 15 years. Yeah, he's not very big. Small guy, but he has that's him doing a drop kick in the ring there in that picture. He's really talented young man, and trained by Sean Hernandez, of course, LAX, and it's his. I want to say, Hernandez speaks very, very highly of this kid, and when he was on with us the first time, he was very humble, very, very, very subtle. But lately, he's been really getting into the whole character thing we do, and he's been saying, he goes, he tells me after his shows, he's like, Canary Kid talks a lot of smack. So we'll see how this goes, because Canary's already been giving him a hard time when he hasn't even. He goes, "Oh, great, we got Officer Smiles coming up next week. I'm gonna get a sore neck looking down at him."
I love it.
We'll see how that goes.
That's great.
I'll tell you something though. What I was thinking, Jamie, is wouldn't it be cool? Like, let's say Ben and Ricky have this match, right? Canary Kid and Ben Nelson, and one of them wins the belt.
Yeah.
And maybe it switches hands a couple times. Who knows? What they do with it after. But at some point, wouldn't it be cool to bring him over, whoever the champion is, and maybe face Officer Smalls?
Yeah, I was going to say, before you brought that up, I was thinking like, God, it'd be so great if, these kids, younger guys from these other leagues could, kind of like the territory system or like Ric Flair, travel around a little bit. And
Well, first of all, experience for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, for him to be able to wrestle somebody from Europe that's a
Yeah.
different style and be able to
Yeah.
work in the ring just like you do in the business, this is
Yeah.
this is all good stuff.
Yeah.
And for that, you know, two different trained styles to meet up in the ring. Now, I think it would be cool as hell, and I would do what I could to make that happen. I mean, I'd probably have to get involved with that,
Right.
Because I don't think they'll pay for him to come over. But
Yeah.
man, if we can make that happen, I'd certainly be interested in seeing that happen.
You know, I wonder, does Japan, as popular as wrestling was in Japan in the 80s, I wonder if there's any youth leagues in Japan now.
I haven't come across them myself,
Mhm.
but it seems like it's happening more and more though now. Like Pure Pro's got some good stuff coming up. I mean, in Michigan, in fact, we're going to be having him on as a guest too. I believe after the small show, this will be the end of the month. It'll be Global Flyer Drake, really good, talented kid.
Yeah.
And we're going to have him on from Pure Pro. So we got some guys coming up here. They're going to be pretty good interviews. But our next Rewind show with Dave and I, it'll be the show we should have watched tonight, Studio Taping 75, that preview that we seen earlier.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, this will be the show we're going to do the watch along with. That'll be Dixie Dave back for that one.
Diamond Dave?
Or Diamond Dave. What do you think of his whole heel talk? Do you
I
like
think it's
this?
funny.
You like it? I get a little annoyed with it. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
Yeah, because you know
No,
what,
I'm
Crusher
enjoying
Crossen, you know,
I'm enjoying it.
I used to love it because, like, in the beginning, for the first 2 years, Dave was completely respectful to Crusher Crossen. It was like
Right,
a
yeah.
very good, respectful relationship, but I guess it wasn't as entertaining. But
You know, you gotta mix things up. I mean, I heard Cena did a heel turn recently. So,
yeah, it's pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and The Rock too, coming off as a heel. It was pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've
That's
seen
funny.
it, the clips.
It's funny. I actually saw a clip of it on the Daily Show where they
Yeah.
were actually comparing America's unexpected heel turn with that one.
The
So,
whole, Rock with the
yeah.
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 Very good. I mean, it's kind of, I didn't see it coming, but
Yeah.
yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. But yeah, I mean, I suppose we're getting to the end of the show here. We went a little longer than
Yeah.
usual, but it's always fun chatting.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you bumping the shows a little bit, so I
Rearranging them.
watch
Yeah.
my terrible performance against Crusher.
What did you think of the match? Like, do you think it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't
was
the
pretty
best.
rough. Yeah, I think I still think our dry dock one was
Dry dock
the
one was
best.
good.
best I was ever
Although
involved in,
Canary
so.
nitpicked the hell out of us on that.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah,
I
he
mean,
did.
know.
But again, you got to understand where he's coming from. He's trained properly
Right,
today, like we never had back in the day.
No, we
And
didn't.
so,
We had
you know,
zero training.
Well, even if we got trained, they didn't train like that.
Yeah.
Not like that. So
Yeah.
when he sees all this stuff, it's like, oh my gosh, you're doing this wrong.
Amateur
You're doing this
hour.
wrong.
Yeah,
You're doing this
yep,
wrong.
yeah.
So it's like, and he forgets, we're 40
Right.
years ago. But
Well, I mean, when I watch our match, I'm like, Jesus, come on, you should have done X and Y. You know what I mean? Like, oh, don't do that. I'm
Right.
critical of our matches, but it's because I have the benefit of living these last 40 years since then, learning and seeing more wrestling and that sort of thing. So, yeah, even I watch it, but I will say, out of all the matches I had, that was by far the best one. So,
and all those TV taping matches, that was our training. So
Yeah.
like that's how we trained, is on the television show. We did the whole experience of doing a show was training for the bigger shows, which were the armories.
yeah, I mean, I don't remember ever spending time in the ring where it wasn't filmed. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like this Saturday we're just gonna
Yeah,
go over
Dayton.
fundamentals in the ring. That
At
didn't
Dayton,
happen.
we only
You
taped.
know,
We would
so-
only go out there to tape. The only time we
Yeah.
would have a little time before the cameras were rolling. We would be in the ring a bit, but
Right.
it wasn't a whole lot.
No.
Just until we were, while we were getting set up, I guess.
Yeah.
And but it was a fun. I still remember the feeling, Jamie, of grabbing the rope and springing myself at the top or whatever.
Yeah.
I can still remember being in that ring, and I know exactly the feeling it was, which is why when I go out to Ireland, it's going to bring back a lot of memories just stepping in the ring again.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
I can imagine.
I mean, it's all that's going to come back, all those memories.
Yeah. No, I
You know?
definitely, you know, I can picture in my mind's eye some, bits and pieces of those matches, like when I see it, when I watch the match, there are times when I remember that exact moment in my, and I remember getting rug burn from the fucking canvas and pinched by those ropes.
Well, it's funny too. Like when we were all three watching our match at the dry dock that we're talking about, I had said, I'm going to do a forward pile driver coming up, guys. That it's not a safe way to do it. Like you don't see people do it the way I did it, where I jumped up with Jamie. Usually you just fall forward, but I jumped up.
Yep.
And I said it's a very risky. You don't see that a lot, even in the regulars. And,
I remember us talking about
that.
it. I remember us talking about it beforehand, and you pitched the idea, and I was like, I trust you, and so thankfully you didn't make me a quadriplegic or whatever.
Well, yeah, because you started fucking with necks, man.
Yeah, that's not.
We've talked about it before.
It's not good. So,
but I tell you that when they watched it though, and you can just watch the look on their faces, like, oh, when they see it happen.
Yeah.
And Ricky's like, Crusher Crossen, breaking necks. He goes breaking necks since 1980.
Oh, that kid's so good on the mic, man.
Oh,
Holy
he is.
shit. Yeah, it's great.
That's like I said, Jamie. If he wasn't so talented, not only in the ring but on the mic, I would have strung him up with listening like the rest. We would. He's a lovable tyrant.
Right.
That's the best way I can put it. Because he's good.
He sounds great. So
yeah.
Yeah, I
strung up like Mussolini.
Thing about the that was a good line. The thing about the pile driver, like not just the way you did it, but wasn't it in Texas? Wasn't it an illegal move, and they literally didn't do it in Texas?
Well, I want to say Tennessee too.
Was it Tennessee? Okay, yeah.
Lawler couldn't do it for a while.
Yeah, they
after the Andy Kaufman thing.
It wasn't like one of those things where it's like, okay, this is illegal. And so then they do
and it literally was
naughty,
it really was, because and we're not just bullshitting you here. Like the state athletic commission were sanctioning these matches, and they would literally ban the move in some states.
Oh, so it was the athletic commission. I always figured it was just like this move's pretty
no,
sketchy.
It actually was banned in some states. Okay. I know that, and but it had to do with the state athletic commission because they could control things like that.
Right. Yeah.
So. But it's a risky move, and especially how we did it. You don't even really see the pile driver a whole lot anymore. Like, I think it was banned in the WWF for quite a while
really?
Because what's his name got hurt. I can't remember who had the match.
Steve Austin got hurt.
Steve Austin,
yeah,
from the pile drivers. So, all right, we've rambled enough. I suppose we'll call it a show. And thanks again, Jamie, for joining us. It was great.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for putting this episode on. So
it was fun, and
sure.
we'll be connecting again. Like once we get that show of Jamie's, it'll be a rough one to watch, but it's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to be great at the same time.
Definitely rough, but it'll be fun. So
it'll be fun. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you when we're live next time. Remember, Keaton will be on tomorrow. And then Ricky and I, Canary Kid and myself, will be back a week from tomorrow with Officer Smalls, everybody. San Antonio. See you. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching.